14. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. Roll call. Joe Bailey here.
John Hodgkins here.
O'Leary here.
Are you all here, Joe?
We are.
All right. My God, look at the stuff we got there. Okay, minutes from the Board of Selectmen meeting of 8/7/2017.
I haven't had a chance to read all of these. I'll make a motion that we approve the Board of Selectmen minutes meeting for August 7th, 2017, last week.
John, do you have a second?
My second.
Any discussion on it? If not, we can vote. Aye.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
You pen?
Non-public for August 7th.
Yep. We have 3 non-publics we have to sign.
I move that we accept first of the 3 non-public minutes.
My second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I move that we accept the second of the non-public minutes dated August 7th.
My second.
Again, all in favor?
Aye. You know what's coming next?
Another one.
Aye. I move that we accept the minutes of the non-public session number 3 dated August 7th, 2017.
My second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, next thing on the agenda is the highway block grant appropriation. For the reason we didn't know that last week we had it into the record that basically the town received a $52,000 block grant. We normally get $54,000 on a highway block grant, but we get an additional $52,000 and change for this. We I don't know how we got it, but we got it, so it doesn't matter. So I guess this is to let us know what we can do with it, right, Laura?
No, this is supposed to be, you're supposed to ask Rick suggestions on
Oh, okay, well, you want to do the money?
I did research it though, well, we
Okay.
did. You can carry it over.
Okay, so,
Capital Reserve Fund? No.
No.
No, it's gotta
But
stay
it's
separated out.
It's, what do they call it? It's, you don't,
unanticipated funds, right?
yeah, but you don't, it's,
Non-lapsing,
non-lapsing, thank you.
and they did clarify that. We researched it is non-lapsing, so we're not gonna make a quick decision. Cause we've got ideas. It can't be for anything that's already been budgeted for.
Right.
Cause our first idea is let's throw it with the highway money, right? 50 grand, 52 grand, you can't, cause you've already started the budget for that project. And the salt shed's embedded in that project. So the only other thing is, you look at some kind of equipment, something, like I was talking to him about. When we bought the loader, we was looking at a brush hog attachment for the loader. That's something you run every year, is a brush hog. And you spend about $50 an hour, you run it for 80 hours a year, plus buy blades. There is a machine that will go in front of that, separate motor, runs itself, it don't run off the machine, so that helps the machine wear and tear. And they're anywhere between 56 and 70 grand. So when you start talking to dealers and tell them you don't have 56, you may have 50, they seem to tell you they almost can say you went for that. But again, you don't have to jump on anything. That's just something that we looked at way back. We talked about a boom truck. We talked about a roll. We don't have a roll, maybe a roll. But stuff like that is another piece of equipment, another registration, and another insurance, and another liability. A boom truck, we definitely could possibly use one, but when you start thinking about you might be better off to rent one, because you're gonna have to have serious training, you're messing around with boom truck near wires now and stuff, so I think if we needed to use something like that, we could check into rent one versus own one and have to maintain it, you know what I'm saying? I'm all for getting something to help her out too. So, like I said, we don't have to spend it, because we decorate the trees and stuff, you know, and we need something for the flags, but we're doing a thing on our bucket for that. All we have to do is be caged and strapped. We're gonna do that. So that's just some ideas I had. I thought about, you know, maybe some of the signs that we bought that we didn't plan on, but all that stuff fits inside my budget. So if this doesn't get spent, we can roll it in next year and spend a little more time on
So
research
where do
for
we
it.
put that in the budget, in the town for like a line item? Or do we? Does it stay in the general fund until we need it, or?
Can't be voted on, right? Then it's not appropriated.
You guys had to vote to accept it
We
first.
already did
We
that.
Okay,
did
so it's there now. Did she say where we had to kind of keep it when we rolled it over, or?
She's looking into, because I said, what if we budget something next year, like the salt shed was an example? Can we say vote on it this year for it to go into the salt shed and then add funds to it? That's where I'm waiting for my answer from. Because she says it's non-lapsing, so you can carry it over, but it can't be a budgeted item. But I'm wondering if it can't be a budgeted item this year, but can be next year. You can add funds to
Right.
it.
So
You see what I'm
again,
saying?
I see what you're saying, but
Right.
where does the money, have we received the money yet?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's sitting in the highway block grant line
So that's where it's at.
right now. And I'll probably move it to the FEMA line so it stands out more, like, or I'll create a new line for it. Because otherwise it's in his budget to make it, it'll look
Right,
weird in his
because that
budget
could
frame.
hardly become budget time like that, when you got this money sitting there like that, and it's not something you're gonna use as a budget thing, so.
Well, it's
I'll
just
check with
explain
Jen
it's
and see.
unanticipated. I mean, they signed something in and we got lucky enough to fall in the category of being able to get 52 grand. Some places got 800 bucks, some places got 1,800 bucks. We did pretty well. With no paperwork involved, I knew it was coming, but I didn't know how much or anything, because John Mullen checked on it and let us have an idea what it was. Next thing you know, she had to check before we could even figure out anything after that. The check was in her hand. She thought it was a block grant money. It's separated from that. I don't believe, I think they said something about, not exactly where you can keep it, but it can't be like stuck into like someplace where you can't separate it out, you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying, I mean,
Without having to go through a whole town
kind of
meeting.
the way you have to protect it.
Right, you have to accept it, and it has to be in there available to be used for whatever ends up being decided to use on, other than something that's budgeted like right now.
When the audit happens, she protects it, so I'm not worried about that.
So there's still
She-
answers,
she
we're
will
still
take
asking
it up.
questions, and we're waiting for answers.
How does the brush hog work off of payloader?
It attaches onto that attachment, like we got some detachable bucket, it attaches right into that.
Then it goes off to the side?
Yeah, it's got a regular arm, like a miniature
Oh, it
backhoe,
has an eye.
like a miniature backhoe, so you'd be able to reach over
Nice.
rails actually.
So it's not like it just reaches 5 feet over.
Right, it's not like the pan one that we use, which I like those, but you know, you can't get behind railings and stuff.
Alright.
And then, of course, it takes a lot to get used to, because you're running a boom now, but yeah, it's something that you would own. You're probably about an 8-year payback on it versus when you rent one versus what you buy one, depending on what we get it for. So there's a lot of ideas, and you got time. And I think that's the best thing to do is
Yeah, we don't.
figure out the best bang for the buck, and we'll go that
They say
way.
rush in just spend because we got it, so.
Would you consider a tractor with a brush hog?
Possibly. What we've done on this one is, you know, of course, that's another piece of equipment you have to register it, that's minor. You have to maintain it. You're maintaining your loader anyway, so when we priced out them brush hogs, we planned on trying to get a unit that's not gonna make the machine work any harder. So we got a unit that's got a separate diesel engine
Sure.
that runs just the brush hog head itself, which is wound up at 10, 13,000 RPMs all the time. The machine can stay at an idle and just go along the road with that machine wound up. So it's not putting extra work on your loader either, you know, it's a premature way of that up.
Nice.
Sharon, you had a question?
Yeah, you mentioned brush hog, the boom truck, and there was one other item you mentioned. You say a roller?
Yeah,
Roll?
yeah, a regular drum roll, like rolling dirt roads.
Did you have one?
No, I rent one of them too, when I need it. It's not something I rent every year, but.
Okay.
Anything else you got for us?
You into that part already?
Well, not really.
Okay, I was gonna say if you are, let's do it.
We'll wait. We'll go down.
They'll say, no, make me first, right?
And then the 52K was in addition to the original?
Yes.
What was the
54.
direct- 54? So you've got 106 total?
Over that, it's probably close to 107. Between, you know, I mean, I just rounded off the easy money, so.
Okay.
Just please make sure they really can't be tied together. They have to be kept separate because we've already appropriated that money from the block grant at the town meeting. Okay.
And this was just a surprise. I don't think anybody really knew it was coming until they actually did the signing of the thing. Everybody got a chunk.
All right, let's move on to the USDA grant.
Okay. USDA, United States Department of Agriculture. They're offering either a loan or a grant program for small towns. This comes compliments of Ed Brandon, which I thank the Highway Department for finding this. It's open, meaning we can apply. How can it be used? Healthcare facilities, like a hospital, except I don't think we're ready for a hospital. A new town hall, a courthouse, airport hangar, child care center, community center. All right, let's get down to where it could apply to us. Public safety services such as fire departments, police stations, prisons, police vehicles, fire trucks, public works vehicles, or equipment. Okay, so there's a possibility. I've already called the lady up in Conway and Getchell to get more information. There's both loans and grants. There are requirements, for example, you can get a grant of up to 75% for a project. If you're located in a rural community having a population of 5,000 or less, which we qualify. The median household income of this town is either below the poverty level or below 60% of the state non-metropolitan median household income. I have no idea whether we fall on that or not, okay? And on it goes, direct loan, maximum 40 years, interest rate set up by rural development, and off it goes. I just wanted to publicly thank the Highway Department for coming up with this, and as I say, I'm gonna call into Ann Getchell to try to get more information.
Sounds good so far, right?
Yeah, it's a fair amount of work, but there's always work with grants and loans. And we've gotten equipment before, and it's been worthwhile, and I'd be glad to work on it again.
We've been searching for about 15 years for some kind of grant money for that highway facility, and
Yeah.
it seemed like when we read that might fall in towards that, so.
Yes.
If that's the case, like that, what we already have sitting there,
Yep.
and what's, we do have money in the fund balance, it could probably, they say 75%, we might be able to do 25%.
I'm still waiting on prices for the, like we talked about, the sediment ponds and the site preparation to get it stabilized. A state like that anyways, we do that stage first and everything's all grown in, and all of a sudden you start doing buildings, you've already started. That'll open up your AOT, but if we needed to get another AOT, it'd be easier to get with everything, all sediment ponds, they'll grant you one easy, you know what I mean? So we're still waiting for that number to come in.
It does have a category for street improvements. So, good. All right,
Cool.
thank you.
All right, let's move on to school lights. We talked about this last week, so we get more information.
Yep, confirmation, John,
All right,
pass that down.
there are two prices. Both are solar. We have to make sure there's enough sunlight coming through. These are the lights for the elementary school. Okay. One setup requires a pretty extensive mounting system, cement pads and so forth, to the tune of about 5,000, but you need two of them each direction, which puts it at 10,000. The other one, a bit simpler, and they both have flashing lights. This one's about 3,000, doubles about 6,000. So I've already talked with several people about it. I think you, Chief, preferred the more expensive flashing yellow. I talked to electricians who said, well, the 3,000 job is much easier to install. So I'm ready to vote, just, the second one is more within the budget that we have allotted. Right?
So it's definitely gonna be the solar ones. At that one time, I thought we talked about it was gonna be easy enough to hook power to them. That's
Yes.
not, that's still the case? No.
The installation for power ones runs $4,000 or $5,000,
Really? Each?
yes. And the installation for solar,
You just put it
somewhat
in.
simplistic, you put a
Right.
pipe in the ground and then align the solar panel and so forth. It's quite
So there's no
easy.
wires that gotta go to a computer or anything, that's all just gonna be
Right.
some kind of a programming board that's
Yes.
on the thing that gets
Yeah.
programmed to a computer
Be
thing.
controlled by the.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. All right. So,
So we don't need to make a motion, we just decide which one we wanna do, and get it
Right.
reported.
yeah.
We're running time for school,
Started.
so
All right.
we'll go
I
with
will-
some.
So that was the price last week was the price per unit, wasn't
Yes,
the price per
right.
town?
Laura checked on that, okay? Even though
Yeah,
one of the prices said 2,
yeah.
okay? I guess it really meant 1.
They were 6,000 apiece? Is that right?
5,000.
5,000
yeah.
apiece.
Right,
So none of them are hardwired.
right, they're all solar. None of the 2 that we have here.
Completely sold.
We can go back and get more estimates, but,
I don't think
Oh,
you have time.
all right. Okay,
I mean, there's really nothing, we still have the other signs down that will be sufficient until we get these in here, but I mean, I'd like to see them in here pretty soon, so.
'cause if you get them hardwired, somebody, the town is gonna pay the bill, just like we pay for streetlights. Okay, so solar's nice in that regard.
So what's your pleasure?
I would recommend the $3,000 one, times 2 is 6,000 plus installation.
John?
And I have the electricians standing by, ready to put them in on a priority basis as soon as they get here.
That's the one with the perimeter
Yes,
lighting?
yep.
I've seen those and I'm not terribly impressed with those, but if there's, the new LED technology is a little brighter than the one that I saw.
Yeah,
Well, we were doing the March meeting, we was voted on, and only spend up to $6,000, so, with that budget number, so.
all right.
What's your pleasure, John? Same thing, or
Well, I mean, we need them.
you want the $3,000 one time too? $6,000?
You know, if anybody feels strongly enough, we can live with what we have for another year, but it does make it difficult to enforce the speed limit through there. And,
It's really difficult to enforce, people are just blatantly ignoring the school zone.
yes, I think they are. I think people go through there nowhere near the speed limit.
In my opinion, they'll do it if it's blinking or if it's, the only way they're gonna stop is something in the middle of the street, to be honest with you. I mean, really, seriously, I
At
mean,
least with some sort of blinking sign, the police have a better,
enforcement method.
Right.
Or some way of enforcing it, right? But as far as it blinking and all that stuff, I don't really believe it's gonna matter. I mean, look at the signs we put, the stop sign we put out up on top of WO. I sat right there, watched 5 cars go right through that, like, just not even there, so. Sign only stands there, you know?
So
I
so
agree.
we're gonna proceed with the $6,000?
Yeah.
3,000?
yes.
You agree? Okay, well, let's go ahead and do the order.
What's the electrician do, John?
What's that?
What's the electrician gotta do?
Put all the pieces together, it's Jeff Jacobs.
Oh, he has to put it together, basically?
Yes.
Probably wire the solar panel into the sign.
Yeah, we have to
Yes.
put a pipe in the ground, doesn't even have to be cemented in, because it's not very heavy. And they'll install a panel, solar panel, they said it has to face the southerly exposure. There has to be enough lighting along there.
That's what I said, yeah.
So we've got to make sure we put it where there's enough lighting, otherwise we're sunk. Right?
Right.
Has that been tested before you purchase them?
In terms of looking at the lighting,
Is
Sunlight.
there adequate
The
lighting?
placement.
before we order it, we'll take a look, yes. Okay?
The neighbors across the street, we just cut some trees
I
down.
don't think, the one down there towards Dalrymple, I don't think you have much of a problem with that one. It's this one up here towards the church, that you may have a problem, because you got the tree growth on both sides of the street, so.
Yeah.
That may be the one,
All right, yeah, before we order them, I want to
I think
take
you're
an
right
extra
down
day to
there.
make sure that there's enough light coming through. Yes,
Well, except that the distance apart could be more. In other words, you could, the one up here could bring it up where the buses are parked.
yes.
So it does hit the sunlight.
Good. Close enough. I mean, you're right, you have to be someplace where you get the sun. Right.
All right, the next item is the police carport entryway.
You were supposed to, one of you was supposed to look at the funding, trying to find out if you could find funding to do that budget, it's not budgeted.
Table.
Yeah, I would recommend tabling.
Yeah, if I could just say, that was just one of those things when we were talking about future capital improvements that came up. I don't think it's a necessity. It'd be a nice thing down the road, but it's definitely not like anything we need in the immediate future. It's just
No.
purely when they were saying, what could we do to improve the building? It was kind of like, yeah, that's one thing we could do.
Yeah.
Here's your USDA grant.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go, right? 50 grand.
No, that's separate, that, you can work on that other one for him, the other 50 grand's in mine already.
Elevator.
Yeah.
All right, posted road ordinance.
Okay, so, here you go. This is what Rick is, suggesting
Yeah, this is the
before
stuff,
mud season.
started working a long time ago. We had to reinforce last year off your original one.
Yep.
This one here makes it, it spells it out a lot more better, again, for law enforcement. This will require no scales. If your road's posted 10 ton and your truck is registered to haul 30 ton, you're gonna get fined for 30 ton. You're gonna be over by 20 ton. Plain and simple.
You want me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
But that's just something that we've been working on for a while, and I just don't wanna wait till we get right to the last minute and have to take care of that. That's gonna go right along with the same thing with your parking ordinance, the same thing. We got as far as getting a sample of a parking ticket, I guess. Now we need you guys' blessings to finish off the ordinance part and get it all signed so that then he can start doing his enforcement, cause right now you have no ordinance to go against your parking signs down there, other than your ordinance that you got, you can't park in any road at all, you know what I mean? And it's kind of this would help him right in this area too, you know?
Well, this is an application that'll be signed by you, giving them permission.
When permission is granted during mud season only, yes. You won't find a lot of those granted by me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to prove a hardship, you have to prove a hardship, and we won't even get into all of that right now. But we'll be doing something like that. If we don't address some issues in this town here pretty soon, we're gonna be dealing with all kinds of issues when it comes to mud season, I can tell you that.
Did you guys increase the fines on it at all, or did you keep them the same, or what?
Yes,
It's
it
all,
is.
it's.
First offense rates $100 or .02 per pound, whichever is greater.
2 cents per
And the
pound.
RW is the registered weight.
That's right. It's what that vehicle's registered to haul. I don't care if it's full of air.
Okay, so somewhere along this
Still.
document, I hate to tell you, something like that, so people understand, RW should be spelled out registered weight. For one
Okay.
argument.
Again,
What does RW mean, like that?
I mean, if-
Well, common sense would be registered weight, but again, you open it to an argument, so we'll just put down RW, you know.
It should be GVRW, actually.
Well, okay, I'll be, application
Gross
for permission
vehicle
to truck
weight.
or haul over the town mills and posted road or roads. Permission is granted from the, okay, you know, typo.
Yeah, you can write all over it.
From the town of Middleton Highway Department to the below named entity or individual to utilize the road stated herein for the transportation of goods in excess of 60,000 pounds registered vehicle weight, okay? During the following listed times and dates. This permit is only valid if temperatures are below 29 degrees as measured at the Middleton Highway Department and have been for at least at least 4 hours. Any violation of the permit requirements will result in immediate suspension of the waiver and will require a restoration bond or reissue of the waiver. The town of Middleton reserves a right to request a restoration bond before approving any waiver. Additional conditions would be roads, valid dates, valid times, company or business, their address, phone number, and cell number, the street or job site location that they need to get to, their signature, and the permit authorized by would be either you or Ed, that's it, nobody else,
That's right.
okay?
So this is just so you can call during when it's posted, is that what that is?
Yes, when the roads are posted for mud season.
And if somebody's getting some delivery or something.
Right.
Well, what about now, like, and that's fine, I just,
No.
what about like,
A good
like
example.
oil trucks?
No, that, you can't stop them from running in.
No, that's what I'm just wondering,
No.
so,
But say, let's just say the septic guys are the big ones, okay? As soon as the frost is like around there, they're running around trying to get everybody to pump out like that. And everything's a hardship. Yeah, all of a sudden you get 15 of these guys all over town.
Right.
You know, that's not a hardship.
right, no,
I mean,
okay,
if it's visibly on the ground leaching, absolutely. But then between code enforcement and Rick to take care of it, and that would be where this is granted for.
Yeah, that's how we
But
set
that's
it
for
up
that
now.
spot only. That doesn't
Right.
mean the neighbor beside you gets pumped and that ain't why you're in here, so.
no, I was just, I didn't,
No.
that's
So
fine.
the first offense, as John said, $100 or 2 cents per pound registered weight, which is greater. Second offense is $2.50 or the 2 cents. And the third offense would be up to 1,000 or the 2 cents, which is ever greater. Okay, so, you know, it's pretty significant, and I think people take notice of it.
This whole purpose is in the spring when the roads are posted.
Right.
The rest of the year, do we have any weight limits at all on any roads?
We don't right now, we're gonna get to that tonight.
But that's separate from this.
That's gonna be during your mud season right
Okay.
there. That's
And there's
all
another
roads
one?
in town
Okay.
during mud season. You got some posted 6 and some posted 8. So
So-
we went to the 16,000 one. Obviously, that's the highest. The other one for the 6 on the side roads, that's gonna be 12. So if you grant it for either one, I mean, if you grant it for the top one, then obviously the bottom one's gonna be good. So we just went with the wording of the 16 instead of both.
So this needs to be turned into an ordinance as well as your permission slip, that's what I need to know.
We don't have, this is gonna be an amendment to the existing ordinance.
Correct.
Okay, so I need to update the, okay.
So, and then,
Yeah.
and so the old one will have to be revised to
That.
that, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the old one doesn't have all,
Right.
it just got $100 and it could be $100 and you get caught 10 times, so. And plus it required a way of knowing how much the truck weighed, and that's always been a problem for the last 20 years, so.
So do we wanna add dates into the original ordinance, like during, from April 1st to, I mean, whatever your,
Yeah.
I,
When you post the roads,
Just
though,
when
'cause
they're
you don't always
posted.
post them,
they're not always the same, so I don't
okay,
think,
we'll get together and look at that.
I think the best thing is probably not to lock us into dates there, because I could have to post early, or I'll usually have to post longer, like this year, so. I think we need to leave them kind of dates
So you
separated.
could, so you're still do some more work on this part?
Right, but it just, you can approve that, and then we'll go back and fix the ordinance, and then you'll have to approve that as well.
If I could too, when you guys are writing the ordinance, without looking at it or what you're planning, it's always good to put not allowed to drive or allowed to be driven, because if you get some poor truck driver guy working for a big company and they're like, we don't care what Middleton says, go do it. And I'd rather not write the driver that doesn't have a choice and was ordered by his work. I'd rather write, UPS or whoever the boss is that said, just go ahead and do it. And it just makes it easier if it says not to drive or allowed to drive, because then it says companies allowing him to drive it on there. And then generally the fine will be different for a person and a non-person. Non-person being a business, it may be higher, like $500 for the first offense as opposed to $100 for just, Joe Blow. Just a thought when you're writing the ordinance, I've seen that in other towns that I worked for.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. There you
You
go.
guys went- you
That's your
guys
12th grade education, your 3
Fair.
years of UNH will do for you right there. You wanna
I
put
tell you,
more
it's a
to
lot
it,
better than what we got.
have at it, you know what I'm saying?
So-
It's something hopefully we can
Well, the
get
thing
it enforced.
is, this stuff is always a work in progress, so, I mean, we wanna add more to it later on, we can always do it, but you guys wanna use this as a first draft and get something
Yes.
implemented now?
Yep.
So, somebody wanna make a motion for that?
I move that we accept this application for permission to truck or haul over the town of Middleton posted roads,
I second.
effective immediately.
Okay, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This will be a work in progress, so we can only make the changes to it as we need to going
So
forward.
get the rest of it, like you say, get the old ordinance out.
Yes.
That's real old, that's like in the 80s, that one, so.
Alright, so that's taken care of, we can move on to the parking ordinance.
So I just wanna know if there's anything done with that, cause I saw the parking ticket, but I don't know That's just a refresher. Did we do anything? Are we gonna do
So long, I
anything?
don't remember.
This is that ticket that we got, remember?
Yeah.
If the, I thought the ticket's what we needed. Like,
No, we
writing
got that.
tickets easier.
We
Once,
need-
once the ordinance is in place, then you get the tickets to
Right.
enforce it.
We need the ordinance first.
So we do not have an existing ordinance.
All you
We
have
did.
is you can't park on the roads at all, but there's no fines related to that. That's what we need to
So
look
maybe
at.
we just gotta add some numbers to what you got, I believe, and it'll work. 'Cause you do have a parking ordinance, you just don't have
Needs to add the
anything,
fine to it.
when he writes a ticket, there's no idea what, what's
We're
gonna
just
happen.
gonna take this sample and see if that's what we wanna do for numbers as far as fines.
Correct.
Pretty much.
And then you have to make sure the ordinance includes the process for it. Like if so-and-so gets a ticket for $25 and they don't pay it within, say, 30 days or 60 days, what's the penalty? And then that's where the town has to figure out with the lawyers what they can do. Because if they're not a resident, say somebody comes from Rochester and watches a play here, and they get a $25 ticket, like, rip it up, throw it away, and drive away. Is there ever a penalty for that person? Sometimes you can turn it into a bylaw violation, you can turn it into, if they're a resident in town, you can do like an attachment to like the dog fines or something. And I hate to see a bunch of fines going, so you have to set up some kind of fine, otherwise people will not pay.
Do you have any sample ordinance in mind from your own?
I don't, I'm sure I could try to find one.
That's what I usually do, that's how I find a lot of that stuff like that, you just, a lot of you just, if it fits your town, just change a word and then away you go, right? You don't have to reinvent the wheel on some of it, so.
So, can we sit there and use this for like a project for the next meeting that we have, and then go and have it, so we have it set up to us? So we can actually have an ordinance
Albany,
with all the fines been
Albany, Albany, New Hampshire.
That's a small town.
I'm gonna say, I think you're practicing.
As a resident, I would like to request that there be some additional publicity, because there are a lot of people that don't know you can't park on any roads in Middleton.
I would say we could put it on the town Facebook or the Middleton Facebook page and stuff before we start enforcing it.
Is that gonna be enforced on all roads, or are we gonna pick and choose roads?
Well, it's said there should be all roads.
So when you come up in my neighborhood, like yesterday, when it was one car to get through, all those cars are gonna get tickets?
Sure. All right.
Yeah, I don't know what you're referring to or what.
Oh, it's a common occurrence in my neighborhood, but it's never been an issue with anybody that lives up there, nobody's complained about it. But all of a sudden, are these people gonna start getting tickets when they've been doing it for years?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. Like I said, the problem with the ordinance, normally if I'm coming across a vehicle on the road, I try to knock on the door and say, hey, can you do me a favor, move it, because there's an ordinance that says you can't park. The enforcing part, if you have the town bylaw violation, I literally have to find who parked it there, write up the bylaw violation, which I can't even do with a cruiser. I have to come back to the PD and then I have to go chase them down and serve it to them. So it's kind of been, hey, if people aren't complaining about it or don't care,
Right.
it doesn't take as high precedence. But if somebody calls and says, hey, there's a car blocking my road, we're gonna tell them you gotta move it. With this, I can pull up and go, stick it on the window and then leave, and when they come up, they find they got a violation. They tend not to repeat the offense, but it just makes it a lot easier for us to enforce and to deal with without taking up too much time.
Is there a spot on there, give a warning as opposed to an actual ticket?
Yeah, I mean, yep, there, this one here, we'll see where it actually says a warning, but a lot of places will have, you can check off warning as opposed to the fine, or,
Then if they have any questions, I think they come down and find out what you're talking about.
yeah, and if we actually got into where we would enforce it, other agencies that I work for, when we do, you guys would agree on a grace period, kind of, and rather than actually write a ticket out, we might just put on there warning for, like, say, a certain period of time, just to kind of give people like a heads up that hey, this is going to start being enforced. But I think if you put it on the website, police department, Facebook, and start throwing some warnings out, it doesn't take very long for people to understand.
Would you have a way of tracking, if you issued someone a warning and they were a repeat offender?
Yeah, generally what we do is just like if you give somebody a speeding ticket, it goes into the system, and Rocky enters it in the computer, so if you run them, you can see that they were issued a parking ticket. So you can see.
I meant if you received warnings, you'd have a way of tracking that as
Yeah,
well.
correct, yeah. You generally, you fill one of these out and just write a warning on it instead of a fine, and still get submitted with a little call number on it.
Is that part of the event? Remember the event form you fill out? Can you park on the side of the streets for your event on the application?
I think on the event application like that, I think there's a place for comments like that, so if you decided that you wanted to allow somebody to park on one side of the road or whatever, and not block them, I don't know.
I thought I saw that on there once, parking on the street or something.
That's something that's been done that way, and
That was an
sometimes you have to
interpretation.
make exceptions for things, it's kind of, you know, it's hard to have just a black and white rule that you follow all the time.
But in the bigger picture, if someone is having a birthday party at their house and people park on the street because there's no other place to park,
I
can
guess that
that
was my
same
point.
logic be applied to the school? Special event, it's a concert on a Friday night. There's not enough places for the car. You apply that same reasoning. Okay?
Once you start making the exceptions,
Yeah, well, yeah,
you're
it's-
opening it
I
up.
mean, one is just as justified as the other.
The thing is, you gotta always try to take into what the scope of the thing is originally. I think anybody would agree if you have a large party at your house and you don't want your friends to show up and all get a bunch of parking tickets for parking on the road. I think the bylaw is to avoid those people that, for whatever reason, think they don't have to follow the rules and just park their, you know, their big truck in the middle of the road so they don't get back into a driveway. Or, you know, somebody that wants to store unregistered cars on the road. It's to kind of keep the road clear. I mean, as long, my thought is usually if you can get a fire truck through there, there's, you know, you're not causing accidents. It's kind of one of those, you have to use your discretion on how you want to enforce it. If, you know, it becomes a problem, people are parking on both sides of the road, you gotta get traffic through, then it's an issue. You know, if everybody's respectful and parks on one side of the road, it will be a problem. It's kind of one of those, it's tough. You gotta pick and choose how you enforce it.
Okay.
There's also certain parts of town that you can have no parking, whatever, versus other places in town that you don't need to really worry about it.
If you're right on a hill in a corner, it's not really smart to park your car in the middle of the road. If you're on one of these long straightaways like Pheasant or Partridge or something where there's hardly any traffic, it's like you're really causing any harm.
But the ordinance says, it's stated right now, it says no parking anywhere. Okay? So, how do you make exceptions in one place, not the other?
Well, the volume of traffic.
Then should your parking ordinance be based upon volume of traffic?
You have to get some work to figure that out.
Yeah.
The thing is, bylaws are laws, it's just like speeding. You have discretion on, I mean, I stop people all the time for doing 10 over the speed limit. I let them go with warning, so it's the same thing with parking on the road. I mean, you don't have to enforce every time you come across a violation of that. I mean, otherwise you'd be dealing with,
You know,
people with 2 cars. in
Well,
one
I'm not worried
yard,
about you, I'm worried about Bartlett, again, him another tool.
Exactly.
but parking on Maple is a whole lot different than parking on Lakeshore. Just volume of traffic. Okay.
Yeah, instead if somebody's up on, you know, New Portsmouth Road or something towards the end,
All right.
different story than if they're parked right in front of the town hall here or something.
Has some work to do with this one, apparently. All right.
That's why we pretty much probably ought to get back and jump started on it, because evidently it needs more time. Sounds like
Yes.
you got some ideas, so, I mean, you know, the only thing I can say about down here, you got no parking on both sides of the road. If you look at it, the way I look at it, this is Main Street, downtown Middleton right here. That fire truck, or that ambulance, when it rolls out of here, a lot of times it's going that way. And if they're parked on both sides of that street, summer or winter, and one of my vehicles, or a bigger truck, any big truck, especially us in the winter coming through there, and they're parked on both sides, somebody's gotta wait. And if the plow truck's in the middle, obviously the fire truck or the ambulance have to wait, because to back up a plow truck with wing down with cars on the side of the road is gonna be almost impossible. So that's somewhat what I'm looking at. This is like Main Street, so maybe this ought to be considered enforced different than like the sidelines or something, you know what I mean?
And it can be written that way too, but I mean, like, you know Janet Kaler, how long has she lived in town?
I know, and I don't
Asked her to
understand.
move her car out of the road.
I don't know why she didn't know that,
Crazy.
to be honest with you. I mean, it's been like that over about 20 years. things.
You
You
sure
got
how to
that.
pick and choose your fights, don't you?
You know, my gut feeling is that the main roads basically, is like this road here, Ridge Road, New Durham, Silver, Pinkham. That's the major high volume traffic here, but that's just a starting point, I don't think.
They can write right in the ordinance that you can't do it unless you have prior approval from, say, the board of selectmen. So then when they get their event parking, you can say, from this time to this time, as long as you only park on the west side of the road,
Right.
you know. We almost always wanna have exceptions.
At least you'd have some kind of a heads up if you knew there was something going on there, then fire, police and all them would know that, too, that something was going on there, so they wouldn't just run into it, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that's probably a good idea too, you know?
All right, so we'll start working on that one apparently. The next one is noise ordinance.
Same thing.
I don't know nothing about that one.
That was the one that, a resident brought
I was asked about
for
it.
the landlord. Remember, the police had called there several times, so. And then we got one from, I believe it was Franklin.
Okay, this is
Was
what
that
you're
that?
talking about, and it's called a disorderly resident. Well, I mean, the biggest thing is you got landlords with tenants and, you know, I mean, hopefully the landlords do everything they can to get quality people in there, but not of them do. So basically, there's a lot to this. I don't know if you want me to read it all, but basically it can get pretty, there's some good fines in it. And the only thing it does is, at the very end of it, it brings in the landlord to have to pay fines, which I don't think, I don't know if I want to go that far with it. I really think that basically it should stay with the people who are causing the problem, which means, you know, should the landlord know about it? Yeah, you got a tenant down there being a pain in the whatever.
Well, I would think maybe
So-
after 3 times, then the landlord should get a fine and say, hey, you know, get somebody else in here.
In fact, you generally.
I don't know, that would
Yeah.
just kind of be my,
We had this ordinance in Franklin, and Franklin's obviously a lot bigger than Middleton, and they have a real problem with, when Franklin was a booming town with all the mills and everything, they had a lot of those big giant colonial houses that all the people that were making a ton of money at the factory were living in. Well, when the mills went out and everything dried up, all those big giant colonial houses got turned into slum apartments, you know, with like 30 different apartments in one house. And what would happen is we'd go to these same people all the time, and, you know, some of these people, they just don't care, they have lengthy records, you fine them, you summons them, and they just keep not showing up. And what we finally did is the town, or the city of Franklin said, hey, we're gonna make an ordinance that says, if you're a landlord and you have a problem tenant and you don't do anything to correct that problem, then you can get fined. So what happened after, without reading it was like after repeated responses by the police department for, you know, legitimate things, not just we showed up to say hi, but, you know, calls complaining against them, whatever. Then the landlord gets notified that your tenant is being a problem, you need to fix this solution. Because what people don't like, even if they don't mind getting fines if they never pay to the court, they don't like being told you're gonna be evicted because you're a problem. So, and it did quell a lot of problem tenants. It doesn't solve every problem, but like there's people in town here that have problems with neighbors that are causing problems. And the landlords just don't care, as long as they keep getting the check, they don't really care what happens there, how the place looks. And it can include bylaw violations. If somebody's got trash all over the yard and it looks horrible, it's bringing down the property value for everybody in the neighborhood, the town can say, hey, we're issuing this, you gotta clean up, and then after 2 or 3, then they can start fining the property owner too. So it's just, again, nobody wants to.
yeah, I think, you know, after so many, I don't know how many times, but yeah, because ultimately the tenant's gonna be like, what do I care? I don't own the place, I'll just move out if I have to, or whatever,
And that's what they,
you know?
And
So, I
the-
mean, I don't know if it's 3 times, 5 times, or whatever.
Well,
But
I don't know.
the other side of the coin is, to what extent should a person be held accountable for the actions of another? For example, you say the landlord should be responsible for the tenant. Should one neighbor be responsible for the neighbor next door? Should you be responsible for your 36-year-old son?
He's living at my house, yeah. He won't be
Well,
living
how
there.
about if he's not living in your house? He's living next street over. But
Well,
it's still
no.
your son. Well, because that begs the whole question. To what extent are you going to be held responsible for the actions of someone else?
But ultimately, as the landlord, you own that piece of property. So
Right.
ultimately, you're gonna be liable if something were to happen
as a landlord
I
ourselves.
think, right?
When we
I don't
had
know.
a lease made up, and we wrote our own leases up, we wrote in a clause saying that they had to maintain the property in a clean and neat environment for health and safety standards. And we also had a noise clause. If they were a problem to other tenants or other residents in that area, that was cause for eviction. And if I were to be notified by that and didn't enforce my own lease, it wouldn't surprise me to get fined by a town. I mean, that's,
Well, this,
I have that lease because it needs to be.
I have that same paragraphs in all of my leases.
And yes, I am responsible for my tenants doing something like that.
so in this
Put
thing,
them in there.
I put them in there, it's my responsibility to see that they obey the lease, and if I'm not enforcing my own lease, then I deserve the fine.
so it says in here, whenever a resident has been visited by the police 2 times in a 30-day period in relation to instance involving a disorderly event, police chief or board of selectmen or any other agent designated by the board of selectmen shall send a notice to the owner. The owner shall be provided with a copy of this chapter and shall be informed of a fine, that a fine of $100 shall be imposed for that event. But the owner contacts the loading police chief or the board of selectmen and schedules a meeting within 10 calendar days of the receipt of the notice to discuss the events, and said owner satisfies the outlines of the mechanism to prevent future disorderly events, then the fine may be waived. So that's out, basically, so.
Should a person be fined if they are the owner and they're causing problems? Repeated calls to a house where the owner lives in the house.
I would think
I
so,
would say so.
absolutely.
I'm not sure that ordinance says that.
No, but this ordinance can state that, that's the thing, I mean, I would have no problem putting that in there. Not whatsoever.
It doesn't
I mean,
matter
everybody
if
should be
you're
able to get the same
owning-
standards.
If you own or lease, or you're renting, it's, the rules apply, but then if you are leasing, the next step is that you contact the owner if it's.
One of the notes I put on this
continuous.
thing is, any place in this thing it says, that says, property owner, I think it should be changed to current resident. That encompasses everybody, owner, rental, renter, doesn't matter, current resident.
Because it's not a noise ordinance per se, like, if you have a party at 1 o'clock in the morning,
Right.
that's not what this is for.
No,
This is
like
because
this-
just because the landlords and neighbors can't get along, so if you wanna have a party till 2 o'clock in the morning,
Well,
that's a
another
different,
part
you don't
of the
have
whole
an
thing.
ordinance for that either, so.
It's been brought to my attention on several occasions from different people that we don't have
Exactly,
per
yeah,
se
yeah.
noise ordinance.
Especially around the 4th of July, that's
Well,
when
you
you
know,
hear
I
it
mean,
mostly,
and
but.
John brought this up prior to the meeting, like, whatever, and stuff. I mean, it says noise ordinance, so we can go from this into that as well, that it's up to, I mean, obviously the people, what you
mean
wanna
like
do, but,
fireworks?
you know, I have no problem having a noise ordinance, but you know, look, the holidays like that, when people wanna celebrate the 4th of July, you can have exceptions, like, we have a noise ordinance, you know, whatever, except on, say, holidays, where you can, you know, have your fireworks, but nothing
Fireworks
after,
at
say,
1 o'clock
midnight.
in the morning the other night?
Nothing after, say, midnight, or say 11 o'clock or something like that, I don't know. I mean, we could, you know, we can have something, but.
I have no problem with people lighting off fireworks, but there needs to be a time.
And that's fine.
I'm down in New Portsmouth Road, and I'm, the other night, fireworks at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing them all the way down there, so I don't know where they were, but I'm glad I didn't live next door.
That's the Piper Mountain dispute.
They weren't really.
Hats and
Were
McCoys.
fireworks?
Oh, they're fireworks, all right.
In pretty quiet sense, but.
Yeah.
So.
More work, I think.
I mean, no, I'm not 100% sure. Ordinances, I think, they don't have to be voted on by the March, we can.
You know, you guys can do all that.
We
I
should,
believe you can do that. All we
Okay.
can
it's
do-
administrative, it's an administrative thing more than
Yep,
a voter thing.
that's right.
Okay, so.
You might have to hold a public hearing, but I'll vote.
Okay, let's look at that like that,
There's something
maybe.
about towns that are over 10,000 population, the government has more authority versus the ones where they have town meetings.
So,
I can see.
I mean, we can proceed on both, either one of these things like that, but, no, I mean, obviously, we have to discuss a little bit more, so. All right, next thing is beach commissioner.
You need to pick your,
That's right.
Okay, so, the-
There were two
Lundergan,
candidates, right?
was it Lundergan?
Right, David
no,
Lundgren.
he resigned.
Right, so he's not doing it anymore. We had two people apply. We had interviews last week, and hopefully we're gonna pick one tonight, especially since one withdrew their name.
Oh,
Make a choice.
So we have a tag your it situation. So, two people approved were,
Lester Kimball was one,
Yeah, and Deborah
Deborah,
Savignano. Pretty sure that's how you say it.
so who withdraw?
Lester
Lester.
did.
Okay, so,
Can we nominate Chief Lawrence for that position? You can see the
beach
beach from
starts
your
at
house.
6:30. So, you're the beach commissioner now. Oh, in favor? No, so we're gonna reach out to what's her name,
Deborah,
Yeah,
how do you pronounce the last name?
I believe it's Savignano.
She lives directly across from the beach, and
down here, 153. So when
Yes.
you say beach commissioner, that's the beach that they don't have the backside, what we call on this side of town, the backside of the lake, which is where over where you are.
yeah, those are all.
Right.
for-
That's, oh, that's
private.
probably under the association, okay, yeah. So it just applies to 153,
Right.
oh.
Yeah. And without getting into all the details, the selectmen described various instances to both applicants, making sure that they had the right mindset. In order to use the beach down here, you're supposed to have a beach permit on your vehicle. If you're a resident, you can get one at least for a year free, maybe it's several years free. But if you're non-resident, it's $20 for 1 year. The problem comes when people use the beach without permission, if you will. As beach commissioner, you're supposed to keep track of that, but we caution both applicants to be very careful on exactly how you intend to enforce it. We recommend that the first time they see a car there, family is probably in the lake swimming already. We advise you not get into a confrontation, politely tell them that they need a beach permit, how you can get it, where, what time of the week, and that's it. The second time you see the same car there a week later, they've not gotten the beach permit, it's time to call the police, okay? I'm not ready to have either one of these applicants get into a confrontation in today's society. Do you agree with that, Chief?
Absolutely.
Thank you. So, that will be the instructions. It's okay for Deborah to help keep track of the trash. It's okay to work with the townspeople, you know, us, Rick, about moving tables at the end of the year, beginning of the year. But actually, if it's a Friday night and there's 3 cars, 8 men and 2 women are out there drinking, I recommend that the beach commissioner call the police. Okay? So,
agreed.
at the rate of $10 an hour for a beach commissioner, I don't think we should be going much beyond that. Okay?
That block grant money that we just got, is there a possibility of some of that money being used to make one neat consolidated sign or just for that beach area? I mean, it just seems,
What's wrong with that sign that's down there? It explains out
Yeah,
everything
there's
pretty
a
much
big one
right to
down
the,
We removed
Yeah.
a couple of smaller
Okay.
ones. So,
and that's a 4x8 sheet of plywood down there, professionally done with about every rule and regulation you can imagine on
I
there.
haven't, sorry, I apologize, and I haven't,
does that have anything about noise ordinances?
No fireworks at the
Posted road
It's
ordinance?
got a lot of stuff on it though, I know that. They covered a lot of stuff when
It
they put
does.
it up.
So, do we need to make a motion to hire her as the beach commissioner?
Yep, with a rate of pay.
I move that we hire Deborah, pronounce the last name again, Savignon?
That's good.
Okay, as Beach commissioner at an hourly rate of $10 per hour.
I second. All in favor?
All right.
She usually, what, they usually spend like 40 hours a year?
Yeah, do you, she's, this question on, is that an employee? On town property, working on town property should be an employee, correct?
Then she should have to go
Then she
through.
should be submitting monthly timesheets like
Yes.
Webster would, and, okay, just making sure.
Now, is it possible to add that to the parking ticket thing, just the beach?
Sure,
Like parking at the beach without a sticker or something?
yes.
Just again, be easier to
Right.
throw a little ticket out their window and not have to wait for them to come out of the water to do
Right.
it.
Chasing in the water.
What if they're not using the beach and they're parking there to
Oh,
go fishing?
You can use the fire department boat and go out there and hand it to them.
I don't know, is that under the sticker thing? I don't.
I have no idea. I'm
Without
just
reading the sign, I don't.
throwing that out
explore
there.
it.
I don't know.
That's a beach permit, not a fishing permit.
I think that's a
Yeah, but
public
if-
boat dock, so
if they're-
I don't think you can, I don't think we can, I don't believe charge for that public boat dock.
No, but I mean, if they're parking their vehicle there while.
And they're fishing, they're
Right,
using the
so-
beach.
Where are
still-
They're not using the beach,
No, they're
they're
using
parking.
boat
not.
launch.
But there's room down there for both, correct?
Well, they try to park in the woods and stuff, I mean, sometimes you get a lot of them guys at once, on rare occasions you'll have a bunch, but
Normally, they, if they're a resident, the sticker is free, so they get a sticker. Just because they'll be down there knocking on your window, because you don't know where people are.
Is there
So
a
it's
public-
really just to park there,
Is there any place to swim on the lake publicly without associations?
just
That's
down
awesome.
here. That's where you get the sticker. But the sticker is free for a resident. So you don't pay, you just need a sticker for your car to show that you're a resident.
But someone from another town,
Pays the $20. And theirs will expire at the end of the year while residents will not.
What if they're
they
fishing,
could use the
Then they
boat.
have to pay.
but they're not using the beach?
It doesn't matter, they're parking their car at the beach.
But like Rick said, it's a public.
it's a public
But
boat
it's a
access, so
resident.
But the parking
I don't
is
think
Still
so.
resident.
I
State.
think you'll find it's the state regulated boat launch.
They've been getting their tickets.
Well, then don't say
Yeah.
nothing.
That hasn't been a problem, I think they're getting tickets.
All right, yeah, well, that's good, but I
I
don't
don't
know
have
if
one.
they
I go-
officially can, if we
Right.
can, you know?
Kayaking
You're
is
okay.
is the
What
permit
year?
for the use
Last
of the
year.
parking lot area.
Well, it goes on your car, so I'm
So it's
assuming
for use
it's
for
not
the
every
parking lot
tag.
area. So if they're parking in the same spot where a beachgoer would park, they need a permit.
I'm just saying, I don't have one, and if I go down there kayaking, I better not get a ticket.
You'll get a warning first time.
You just come up, you dump your kayaks off. the
All right,
beach.
we're all done with her. Moving on to the MS 535.
Okay, so, the auditor called me and DRA had to revise a couple of numbers on our 535, so I just need signatures. None of the figures change, just where they go, so they want you to re-sign it. Oh, no, we're in the firm. You sign right here?
I know, but what are the changes?
Like she did, no, she just had to like recategorize things, she didn't change the bottom line. This is our
Just
financials
geography.
from last year.
It's being the same in financial area, it's just geography, bottom line doesn't change.
Yeah, the bottom line didn't change at all. They just deleted the old one and made new signatures.
So, Laura, in 25 words or less, can you explain what an MS 535 is?
It's just, it's basically an overview of our financials for the.
Sent to DRA, right?
Correct.
Department of Revenue Administration in Concord.
That's
We might be small, but the state still is interested in this. Yeah, it's backwards. So backwards as well.
I'm not. I think those are all like the smart one.
Probably. Send it back.
If she sends it back, I'll copy the last one you did and I'll just scan it in as a new page.
You think we know the difference between name and signature?
I do.
Apparently not.
I do.
Really?
All right, last one on this signature stuff is the training memo.
This is the memo that you signed. I want to give it out to the department heads while they're here. This is the one on the training. Can you pass one to just watch it?
Part of our
Rick knows all about it.
part of our Primex insurance company is that we have to have continuous training for all of our town employees. So this is going to be one phase of it. So and the selectmen are not immune from it. We're all part of it too. So.
Andrea,
Yes,
school have anything like that?
I don't, no,
I don't
not that I
ever
know of.
remember anything.
I mean, as far as the school board or the
Or
teachers.
school employees,
Oh, they do trainings all year long.
as it relates to insurance regulations, not
I would
training
imagine.
for education, but training on how to handle illnesses, how to handle.
I would imagine they would have to.
Harassments or anything like that.
Right. Good.
We done one here, we did one with seatbelts, didn't we? A little while ago.
No, we changed our safety manual to include seatbelt.
Oh, okay, that's what it was.
I have one more in action signature that's not on there from last week.
Oh,
I ran out of room, it's already double-sided. So, the waste management stickers, the bulk stickers, I did get a quote, and that's what our sticker will look like.
Show it so
So-
everybody can see it.
Okay, there you go. That's what our sticker would look like. I created it, I cheated, I stole Rochester. I was gonna go pink and I thought people would be mad. So they would be a 3x5, and there's the different amounts you can buy. And they're a rule, I think, right, perforated rule, so I can sell one or I can sell
Is this
three.
the actual scale?
No,
No, it's not that.
it'd be a 3x5, yeah.
Everybody know what we're talking about? Print the stickers, bulk, trash pickup.
Yeah, we answered questions on all that today, I believe, right?
We'd have had
We had a
questions
lady
today.
had questions
So that's
on
why we
today.
really need to figure out what we're gonna do or how many we should buy, and they'll be numbered. They'll be pre-numbered, so we'll know how many we sold and
You know which
we
number
track.
went to who, what person and everything, right?
we can.
If
I'll
they
just
buy
send them to you.
number one, just put their name beside it.
Well, sets up that spreadsheet that's.
But I mean, we'll know if we sold 50, you know, or we sold 150, I mean, we'll know we're recouping as well.
But knowing who you sold them to might be a good idea.
Really?
So for an extra 500, it's $50.
Well, is their address or something? I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, the trash won't get picked up if there's no big green sticker on it. I don't really care who has a sticker. You can buy me a sticker. We'll try that. You buy me the sticker.
see if it still gets picked up, you wanna do a setup already on them, don't you?
But I mean, I don't need to know who buys the sticker. What do I care?
Will they have to show ID?
there's a resident.
So they're
Yeah,
either a resident or a taxpayer?
yep.
Okay, that's,
It's the same thing you do for the beach
Same thing I
permit.
do for the beach, I pull a car registration. You have to show me a car.
I guess they still could buy 4 Christmas presents for their friends down farms and put it in here anyways, but at least they're gonna get money for it now.
$10 for that.
So-
Yeah.
Well, that offsets the cost
Stop
of the
figuring
bulk.
out
I mean,
$10 a
right?
piece, right? Are they $10 a piece?
So,
yes.
Good idea.
Or they come weekly?
the whole bill.
So there'll be no more fall and
So-
spring cleanup?
They will
Yes,
come,
there will be.
yes.
There
So,
will.
Yeah.
which are we gonna get? The,
This
Well, that's what I want.
Wait a minute,
1,500
Joe's
to
got a question.
I'm sorry.
Yes, it starts this fall, correct?
Right.
October.
We would still have,
Stickers.
Well, no, right, I'm just saying, but you have to buy the stickers.
we'd still have 2 bulk pickup days. Once in the spring, once in the fall, but during that time, if you wanna put out 1 mattress, you need to come see Laura to get a sticker to the tune of $10. If you wanna put out 4 mattresses, you need to buy 4 stickers to the tune of $40. Right? Anything that is considered bulk pickup, that they don't pick up on an ordinary week, $10. If you have a old dining room table with 6 chairs, that's 7 items, that's $70. Okay? Unless you
I
have wood
put a
stove.
free sign on there first.
You're
Yeah,
gonna see
so
a lot
sure.
of dumping in the woods.
A lot of your furniture places now take this stuff free, so they ought to take that option. A lot of them
Yes.
bring it and take this stuff
Maybe
away.
that way Linda might pay right now, I'm trying to minimum pay for everybody out of town to cover this stuff as well.
Yeah.
We can't afford it, so
And what, it tripled in 3 years, right?
it's triple.
It's tripled in 3 years. You think it'd go down, it's tripled in 3 years.
So we have,
Everybody's coming.
we have a decision,
Exactly.
how many do you wanna buy? 1,500, 2,000, 2,500. The price for 1,500 of them is $510. The price for 2,000 is $558.33. And the price for 2,500 is $608.33.
Well, I have a question.
Well, yeah, I would have a question too. I would say, I wouldn't necessarily caution to go too high, because what if you find like, oh, we really need to increase the price?
The price isn't on them.
The price is
Oh,
not
okay,
on it.
oh, all
And
right,
they're not
okay.
dated either,
No,
right?
no date or anything, so
Oh,
it has to
okay.
be used.
So then
More
that's
you buy,
good,
the merrier.
okay.
They're just numbered as of number 1, number 2, so I know if I sold 200 or
So I
100.
can
Just
buy
like
two
that,
now.
just smaller.
In
Who's
case they
printing
raise the
them?
price of 15, it's like a
They're still
forever
only
stamp.
two-
I went to Alpha, who does
They
that.
say the 2 pickups per year, spring and fall, so.
My question is, should we buy the 1,500 and next year we've used all 1,500? Will it be $510 for an additional 1,500?
Sure.
Where it's only $50 for an extra 500?
Yeah, I mean, the more you
Or
buy,
an
the cheaper
extra-
they are.
100 for 1,000.
If you can afford them, buy as many as you can.
Does that go
They're
up to
not
bid?
Is there a price for 3,000?
Does it go up to bid? It just
How
seems
many
high for me for a
families there
sticker.
are in Milton?
No, I did not go to bid.
800, 900? If each family used 2, it'd be 1,600 right there.
Seems expensive.
Right, so,
I would recommend get the 2,500.
yeah.
For $600, I get for $608, I get the 2,500.
That's my sticker.
We're gonna know the first year how well it goes.
You're gonna always, you're just gonna stay, you're gonna use them from this point on, so they're not gonna go bad or anything.
Right, as long as it doesn't have the price or an expiration.
Right, so,
Expiration on it.
I move that we can spend $608.33 to purchase 2,500 bulk waste stickers to be used starting this fall and thereafter.
as a second? All in favor?
Aye.
There you go. Wanna sign it, John?
Is there gonna be like a campaign so that people know this? Or are we just gonna have a bunch of crap left on the side of the roads that doesn't get picked up?
No, I think basically what we have to do is the Facebook page and stuff, whatever. We have to, anything we can. I mean, hopefully maybe we get Joanne to put something in the newspaper about it.
I just think people are gonna not know and leave all their crap out there.
Exactly. I mean, you know, there's gonna be a little bit of a.
Put something out here.
Yeah.
Police chief is offered to ride around town with a loudspeaker, making announcements.
I think what we need to do is we need to mount speakers up in the holes like that, so you just sit in one spot and just do it.
You know what I tell-
How about dropping leaflets?
There you go.
Yeah, good idea, sure.
Have you got
What
plane?
What does that say, what if they send something home through the school?
Not everybody has children in school.
Well, no, but I
So
mean.
you could do that.
Right, right,
That
I'm
would
just
reach a lot of
saying,
kids.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
it'll reach quite a few
Another
households.
avenue,
Right.
sure.
With your tax bills?
No, we actually
It'll
have
be
to
too
tax
late
them,
for
but
the
they won't
next
go until
one.
like October, November. so-
But the idea of sending home to school, if the school department agrees, is very good. That would certainly help spread the word. Okay?
I'm sure it wouldn't be a problem.
So we need to come up with a flyer or something like that, so we can hand them out, whatever we need to do. All right, cool. Any more under the signature action?
No, that's all I had.
All right, let's go into old business. Stratford Regional Planning Representative.
Well, Pastor Tom denied my thing, so we don't have to.
No, we do.
Yeah.
No, we
Sure.
don't.
I can update you.
Oh, what? Is it Mackenzie?
Mackenzie.
That was my second go-to.
Mackenzie, I forget her last name.
Bristol.
Oh,
Bristol.
Bristol,
Britain.
yeah.
Okay, young lady, she's like 18 years old, she's
Yeah.
getting into politics pretty heavy. She said she was very interested in becoming the rep for the Stratford Planning, Regional Planning, and John Valeri has said that he would attend with her and be her second on it. So she can't go eat yet, so that takes care of that whole situation, which is pretty good, so.
Mackenzie should do just fine considering that most representatives from the area towns are old dubbers like me. She'll add a breath of fresh air to the place.
All right, so, good deal, that's taken care of. Resident complaint update, which one is that?
Which
That's the
one?
one
That's an
from
old
last
can of
week.
worms right there, so which one? Eeny, meeny.
This is a follow-up from last week,
Okay,
okay? And the individual concerned is asking for a update on what the Board of Selectmen have done regarding the issues. It's already in our minutes that we are taking no action, but I'll be glad to draft a letter for the signature of the selectmen on that same topic. Okay? Saying that we intend to take no action.
all right.
All right?
That's vague.
That's agreeable?
It's vague enough, yes.
We had a complaint,
Doesn't matter, it's not our knowledge, is it?
Yeah, it's public.
it's public knowledge, it was done about last Monday meeting, public
I'm
meeting,
sorry, I
so.
wasn't here.
No, so basically, we had a resident who was going through some personal issues, and basically, he's not happy with the police department, lodged a complaint against the police department, some officers within the police department, and he came to give us his side of the story. Chief Blodgett was here to give his side of the story, and basically,
Yeah,
our finding is that nothing, we're not going to recommend any corrective action of any sort be taken towards the chief of the police department or members of the police department. So. That pretty much sum it up.
You summed it just fine.
Okay. So, moving forward, then I guess we go school request for equipment use.
All right, first I'd like to introduce Andrew Bowden, representative from the school. I'm just
Adamo.
acknowledging that you're
I'm
here.
the representative.
She's a representative, I'm just here.
Okay, I'd like to introduce Linda Adamo as the
Say nothing better
representative
to
from the school board.
Well, if I had known you
They've,
were here, I would have stayed home.
Graciously offered to come
No, there's
once
no
a
grace
month
involved.
representing the school at our department meetings in an effort to have better communication between the two entities in town. I got a call via Laura from Kat, the school principal, wanting to talk to me. She first apologized for not approaching the selectmen first before talking to New Rick about moving some playground equipment or something. But that's all taken care of. Everything's fine. They're very gracious. We're all anxious to work together. Now, this is the part that involves you, based on a conversation this afternoon at about 1:45.
I know all about it, but you can carry on.
You know about the rocks?
Yes, I do.
You know about the change of date?
The call happened to come in while I was standing with Laura. Got the call this morning. We thought it might have been about the playground equipment, but it was about the rocks, and the call, and it all got forwarded to one of your numbers. So
Yes.
that's why it's coming through you now. It's
Yeah.
coming through you to me. Yes, no, whatever.
Yes.
So
And, so you're aware of the request to move the rocks at the head of the entranceway and the two cement barriers down by the actual well house, storage house?
I knew about the rocks. I didn't know about the barriers, but it's something about bark mulch going to the playground area. That's all.
They want to go past the shed area so that they can dump a load of mulch, chips, I don't know if
Right.
it's probably chips. It's going to go on the playground.
Yeah, bark mulch or something. You were saying, yeah.
All right. So that,
It's just a matter of dates now and times, that's all I need to know, and they were supposed to give us a heads up on all that.
the offloading of the playground equipment is Friday, August 18th.
This week?
Well, that's technically, that really shouldn't work,
Yeah, because you guys don't, you're not working Friday, are you?
right?
You're still on the 410s.
The only thing I got authorized on the Fridays is the stuff to get them plows and stuff like that done, so now that, again, it's up to you guys. I asked for the authority to do one thing. If you want somebody to run down here, I say probably take maybe an hour to do the rock part. I'm not sure about unloading the stuff. And I imagine the rock's gotta be moved because the box, all this is going together, right?
Right, but the rocks can be moved during what I'll call regular time.
Right, I can move those anytime. I'm assuming
Yes.
everything's still gonna happen this week, or the playground equipment get changed. It's the 18th, so they're gonna do this the 19th.
It's a Saturday.
Right.
Then Monday, the 21st, they would like help moving the chips from a big, huge pile to somewhere on the actual playground such that it can be spread around the equipment.
That, I understood they were gonna get a hold of a private contractor to do that.
I think they will if we're not available.
I think they should. All my stuff's way too heavy to do that, I can tell you that. They're gonna have issues even backing down in it with a truck dumping the bark mulch. That's an awful, awful wet area. You're gonna do some damage getting to the area with any kind of large equipment, so that's something that they're gonna wanna look at. That's still wet right now. I mean,
I believe a tractor trailer could back down there.
in the parking lot, yes, not down past that shed,
Yeah.
no.
But maybe they intend to dump it there, and then John Mamone suggested a Bobcat, which is a lot smaller,
Exactly.
but then you'd have to have those two cement barriers moved just so
So
that
you
they
go down
can
in
get in and out, in and out. Okay.
Moving rocks and barriers aren't any problem. The equipment that I got to move the bark mulch is gonna do more damage to that land than what I think we should even think about doing.
Okay.
It's just too heavy, too big.
When you move the rocks, is it possible to put a yellow tape across there to keep everybody out until the trucks come?
I can, yeah,
Okay, just
Yeah.
so that people don't start going down in there.
right.
Okay. I intend to talk with Kat tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock to convey whatever about
Okay.
this tonight. All right.
Yeah, you need to let me know on the August 18th, as far as unloading the equipment. We already said we'd do it, so I didn't know, we thought it was gonna be
Right, I
on
know.
Friday, but.
It was the playground equipment company that changed it, not the school.
Right.
I think we should authorize someone there to.
I'm sure I can get one of them to take care of it, there's no problem there.
Right. Okay. What do you agree?
That's
Okay.
good.
That's the 18th.
I never have.
So,
Are angels coming?
Usually,
so, Linda, does that capture the essence of what you
From
know
what,
this?
yeah, I mean, I was at the same meeting you were at,
Right.
that's, I seem to recall that John said he could use his equipment to move the bark
Right.
mulch. And that all they needed for the town to do was, well, this moving stones
Right.
was just to unload the pallets of equipment.
Rick, after everything is done, it could be a week, I don't know, get everything
Quick walks
finished,
back, yeah,
please.
we can,
All right,
yeah,
thank you.
no problem.
Good. That's it?
all right, good. Department heads. We'll move into Gwen, get the furthest going.
A few things. I'm not sure I can pronounce his name right. CIAMPA is the last name. Campa? Not really sure.
Frank?
Champa? Yeah, they live at 294 Pinkham Road. They filed for an abatement. The abatement was denied, and they went to BTLA. And part of the BTLA process is meeting with the landowner to try to come to an agreement to mediate. And Avatar has done that for you, and this is.
Okay, after review of the above referenced property and based on the revised assessment of $228,900, I recommend abatement be processed of the $5,700 value difference. Taxpayer has agreed to this revised assessment. Will settle the pending appeal. Please advise if the town is agreeable, and if so, we will sign the settlement agreement on your behalf and send the information along to the Board of Tax and Home Appeals. Sincerely, Laura Martin.
Everybody understand the procedure here? You get a tax bill. You don't like the amount, you can appeal or request an abatement through you, which is really you and Avatar.
It's not related to your tax bill, it's related to your property assessment, and it has to be disproportionality, physical data errors, there may be one or two other things. But it has nothing to do with your tax bill.
Good.
It will affect your taxes.
In fact, right, your tax bills
Yes.
based on that. So, you apply for an abatement. Avatar, through one, makes a recommendation. the selectmen either accept that recommendation or don't. Sometimes the advertiser says, don't give them an abatement. The next step is they can go to what's called BTLA, Bureau of Tax and Land Appeals. It's over in Concord, and they can look at all the pieces, hear from all the sides, and they can make a recommendation. Although it sounds like they reached a decision first. They settled out of court.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking at now. Okay?
So, are we, gonna be in
What's
agreement
the-
with this? Well, the amount basically is $5,700 difference.
That's the the assessment.
Okay, so-
Probably a, what, $1,500?
The assessed value is going down $5,700, which ultimately will change the taxes, but it won't change by $5,700.
Right. It'll be less than that.
Some portion of
It's
that.
about a $1,500 refund,
Good.
payment.
So,
And
do we make a motion to go ahead and accept our?
I would move that we accept the,
Appeal?
well,
Revised assessment, I'm sorry.
right.
mediated agreement.
Yeah, the mediated agreement there. Okay. Between us and Siamba. It's been recommended by Avatar, but we have the final say. It's like a settlement out of court.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Favor?
Aye?
Aye. Aye. I think that's right. So.
Another one?
Oh, a few things.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, it's different things. The Sherwoods, I discussed with you a couple of weeks ago, they were not able to get a report of cut from their logger. And it was recommended from timber appraiser for the Department of Revenue that we tax them based on the intent, which was a large quantity of mini board feet. So I did that, and then lo and behold,
They
there
found the
was-
form.
there was a
turned back.
report of cut produced. So we have
Great.
now to abate the previous bill and then bill on the report. So this would be the abatement for the previous bill based on the full intent. And then this is the bill for the actual with the report.
So, we build it for 931, what does it actually come out to?
It'll be 8336.
Yeah.
Huge difference.
Well, that's what happens when you introduce the paperwork, right?
Everybody understand what we're
Shock
saying?
factor.
If you own one of the lots, you have to file an intent to cut. You can describe how much you're taking off. After that's done, 6 months, 8 months, whatever long it takes, the forester or the logger has to produce evidence of how much he actually took off. In this case, they couldn't find any paperwork, so the selectmen opted to go for the full amount on the intent to cut. $900 worth of taxes. And I guess now they found the paperwork. It's down to how much?
83 something? So, 8336. And the original was 931. So basically, this, please abate yield tax in the amount of 931 for Bradbury and Robin Sherwood of 70 Pine Ridge Road, Middleton. Tax map 14, lot number 49, timber operation number 16-299-05-T. Reason revised report cut submitted to the town. Okay, so.
I move we accept this
Second.
report, this amended
All
bill.
right, all right, all in favor?
All right.
Rebill. Want to make a motion to rebill that one?
I move that we rebill for the amount of $83.35 for tax cut, for timber cuts. For,
Second. Second.
Sure would.
Okay, second, so all in favor?
Second. Aye.
Aye.
Good.
That's good. Take that one. Yeah, second one, John.
Yeah, there's two.
Second
Wow.
one, yes.
Who's the person who cut the timber?
Samuel Brooks
Oh,
out of Wakefield.
I know he is. I
I was
just-
gonna say that Brooks is
Yeah.
a name I've heard of.
What else you got for us?
And, utility pole, Gary Roberge, the ongoing, utility pole issue. He has sat down with, let me see, who is it? He has sat down with the utility and DRA, and they have come up with a formula that everybody's happy with to assess, poles, conduit, and public right-of-way use. But before they can proceed in implementing this for each town, the Board of Selectmen have to agree to the methodology. So this pretty much covers all of that. And there's one for each of you.
What is your recommendation?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. It'll end the, he states in here that it'll end the lawsuits. And it won't, this will stay in place until it's changed by either the law changes, so.
I thought the lawsuit was already ended.
There's, the Fairpoint one
Oh, there's
was
more?
settled, but the Northern New England telephone well, there's another one, was it? Yeah, there's two, I think. There was two. There was one filed years back, and then there was a more recent one that's still on file, I guess.
So this is clearing up the past, it's not moving ahead like you suggested with charging for something else. Remember you said the loss of revenue would be offset by another way of taxation?
Well, I think what they weren't paying taxes on public right-of-way use.
Okay.
But there's a whole new, if you read through it, it says, as you're aware, the legislator enacted a new law effective this year. It sets forth the procedures for assessing telephone company poles and conduit. It directs DRA to annually set forth replacement cost new rates for those poles and conduit. The telephone companies must annually provide an inventory to the town and to the DRA of all poles and conduit, and for the towns to annually assess them based on that data using a 40-year life and 80% maximum depreciation. I have developed a spreadsheet to enable annual updates going forward. It'll be efficient, require less administration time. We now have the data for each town with formulas to automatically update each town each year once the DRA has established the replacement cost new for that year. They enter the data, change the base year, and the computer calculates the pole and conduit value. And they compare each year's data for changes, which will be necessary also. And then they give us he gives us here your 2017 pole conduit assessments, 1,058 poles, assessment of 294,100, 4,200 feet of conduit, assessment of 15,200, total assessment without public right-of-way, 309,300. On your behalf, he is working with NETC to develop what he believes is a better way to look at valuing the public right-of-way. And in proposing this approach going forward with the New England Telephone Company in exchange for their withdrawal of all 2016 appeals. The catch here is that if you have not updated your pole license, which we have done that, that you won't be able to, you'll have to do that. They'll continue the lawsuit. If you have updated and provide me of the copy of all the information that was sent, I've given him everything that he required, then he'll provide that information to them. All public right-of-way assessments prior to 2017, but after the license update will be accepted if the town accepts this new methodology going forward until legally or legislatively instructed otherwise. His approach reduces the public right assessment as is based on pole site usage, as that is truly the most restricted use area specific to the telephone pole and all attachees. The rest of the public right-of-way is used by you, me, municipalities, UPS, FedEx, etc. for driving, parking, driveways, sidewalks, lawns. Therefore, in my opinion, the public right-of-way should not be considered as restrictive for use as the pole site is. While it is significantly lower, it will end all appeals now and in the future with New England Telephone Company and require no refund on prior public right-of-way assessments as long as the pole license update was in place. And then he goes on to tell us what our public right-of-way assessment for 2017 with his new approach would be $19,400 for a total of $328,700, and it's based on the number of poles at a site value of $14.69 on average, and a 1 acre site value of $40,000. And all attachees will be assessed in the same manner. If you want him to continue with the settlement in this fashion, please let him know immediately, as it needs to be in place by 9/1/2017. So, in my opinion, yes. I would do this, enter into this agreement, let him move forward, and put all of this utility battle to bed.
I just have a question. So this is for the taxes on the telephone poles that are in town?
Yes.
But they're not all telephone poles now. Some of them are electric poles, some of them are telephone poles. Because the 2 poles that are out in front of my house, I got a brand new one right next to the old one. And now it impedes at the end of my driveway to pull out. But so, do they have to pay taxes on both poles? Or are we paying?
Well, they're supposed to remove the other.
Yeah, the old pole is gonna be
The old
removed
pole's
once
going
everybody
out.
transfers all this stuff
Right.
from the.
I heard that they weren't transferring, that wasn't part of the deal, was to transfer the cable of the telephone to the new electric poles, because that's what they're being put up there is for the electric. Maybe I misunderstood.
No, but those guys, I think half will transfer themselves. The guys doing it now won't do it. But
okay.
the telephone company will come in and transfer it over, and cable will come in and transfer it over.
Oh, okay.
They won't touch
They
my
put
stuff.
So get rid of one of the poles that's up there?
Yeah,
the
they put
small
one in
tiny
front of
piece?
my house too. I had 2 for a little while, but everybody transferred and now it's gone.
We had 2 on this side of town for 3.5 years, so don't hold your breath on
I'm
when
not
that
gonna
pole's
hold my
leaving.
breath, I guess.
They
Just
should
saying.
be.
My
Yeah.
question
We had to
is,
challenge them on it, actually, I believe.
this is
Because I'm like,
reduced.
they should be paying double taxes on 2 poles, they need to pay double taxes,
I
like your way of
right?
thinking, yes.
Then they'll move
That'll
them.
get them out of there quick.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we're going to be, by signing this or moving forward this, we're saying right now at this point, we'll be collecting $19,400 for taxes.
No. No. Each of the attachees to the poles, even the lessees, are going to be assessed accordingly. Let's see.
I want to know how much quarterly is it.
He's working to develop a better way to look at valuing the public right-of-way. And am proposing this approach going forward. Because the problem was with public right-of-way usage.
However they want to figure it out, how much it's worth. or something
Each
like that.
utility, public service is gonna have a cost, then the New England Telephone is attached to the poles, they're gonna have a value.
Cable company's gonna have a
Cable
cost.
company is gonna have a value, anybody who's.
So basically, but,
It is a little confusing the way,
well, until I see who's paying what, I don't want to agree to nothing.
I think this, what you're seeing here for poles and conduit right here is the PSNH, telephone pole assessment law. I've developed
Yeah,
this
that's
in-
without private, public right of ways.
Right.
This is
This
now
is the public
looking at
right-of-way
public
assessment
right-of-way.
back here. and he says your assessment is, it'll be a value of $328,700, and all attachees will be assessed in the same manner. The average site value of $1469, using on an average a 1 acre site value of $40,000.
Okay, so the number on the front, the 309,300 is what we're currently being assessed at?
For the 1,058 holes.
Okay, so if you flip over for the same 1,058 poles, the value's gonna go to 328,700.
That's for the public right of way. That's gonna be in addition to the 3093, is my understanding.
Okay, I don't wanna sign and make a motion, get a little bit more information on it. I know it's crunch time for him to do this, but this sounds like this is a personal thing that he's trying to do, which is fine, I got no problem with it. Brings everything in line, and may have a good number, but I have no
That's not-
problem him going forward to do that,
Yeah.
but
That's not what
I
he's
don't want
doing.
this to affect what we're getting for tax money from these guys.
We don't get like from the cable company, we don't get that. We only get one person pays that bill.
Let me try it.
Then they charge.
I do, so say,
Utilities used to be exempt from taxation.
Right, right.
And that changed.
right.
And DRA was setting values for utilities, which were way undervalued.
Okay.
What they did was they took the whole state and they proportioned it. They proportioned it per town, and it wasn't a good way to assess that usage. So the law changed, and the assessors stepped in, and they're like, we have to assess this property. So you have your telephone, you have your pole value, that's a structure. Then you have conduit, any conduit, that's using your right of way, it's a structure. It's benefiting their industry, I mean. And then you have just the general right of way use. They're using right of way. I mean, their lines are through the right of way, the poles are in the right of way. The way they were being assessed previously was through the assessor. DRA was really low. Assessors were valuing this use a lot higher, which created a lot of abatements, appeals to Superior Court, lawsuits.
This is why we paid all that money back.
To Fairpoint. Right. But now there's another appeal for the 2016, 2015. That one that you paid was for like 2013, 2014. There was another one that came in for like 2015 that's still pending. So now the assessors are trying to meet with, I think it went through the assessing standard boards too, because there's been so much hubbub over this. Now the assessors, and Gary being one of them, are trying to sit with all of this information and do something that's more reasonable, that both sides can agree to, so we can put all of this litigation to bed. Because it's costing everybody money when you have to litigate something like that.
So basically, he's just asking permission to act on
He's
behalf of
basically-
Middleton and
he's-
others like us.
Yeah, anybody,
Come up with a
yeah.
formula to do so.
He's saying, this is what I'd like to do, and with your permission,
So
I'll
basically,
move
these are just
forward.
examples, these are not tried and true numbers that's going to affect the town at this point.
Well, I can go up and pull what your
Currently getting
he says that things are gonna end up being lower, but you're
lower
gonna,
for who? That's what I'm going to get to, lower for who?
well, the town could see lower assessments on their, DRA is way down here, then everything went way up here, and that's what started all the litigation, the abatements, the Superior Court, all of that. So they're trying to find someplace in here where everybody can meet mutually and put all the litigation to bed.
What do you think?
If we approve this, will it end possible lawsuits from the other companies besides Fairpoint?
I think New England, NNETC, they're the only ones that have been adamant about pursuing it in court that I've seen.
Will this end it?
That's what he says.
Probably just one step.
While it
across
will,
the triangle.
while it is significantly lower, it will end all appeals now and in the future with NNETC and require no refund on prior public right-of-way assessments as long as the pole license update was in place,
Which we
Was
have.
it?
which we have done. We did it in January.
So,
Just one other question. Person writing this, Gary Burge, Roberge, contract assessor, who works for Avatar. It sounds like he is saying it will end all appeals now and in the future.
That's what he said.
He has the authority to say that.
It might be some kind of a,
He sounds like he's not a mediator, it sounds like he's on our side. I don't know how we can declare that all appeals will be ended. That sounds like something a mediator would do.
in the letter writing to the Board of Selectmen, says your assessment for 2017, assuming your pole license agreement has been updated, which it has, would be $19,400, based on the value of 328. So would that 19?
For a total value of $328,700, and it's based on 1,058 poles and an average site value of $14.69, using on average a 1 acre site value of $40,000. So I think you're taking the 19,400 and you're multiplying it by 1,058 poles, and the average site value of $14.69, using a 1 acre site value of $40,000. So I don't know exactly how much overall the site acreage is.
And Gary's asking us, the Board of Selectmen, to sign this tonight.
If you don't want to, if you have questions or you want other information, or you want somebody from Avatar to come in and talk to you about it, if you want Gary to, he's actually the owner of Avatar, he's the president of Avatar. I can go back to Lauren and say they want more of an explanation or a better explanation of what this all means.
Good. All right, here's my other confusion. The front page says total assessment without public right of way. Right. Backside says your public
Because
right of way
some
assessment.
towns, if you have, he didn't know whether Middleton had done the
renew the license.
the hearing. We updated our poll license agreement. That is, you could not tax the public right of way without that poll license being updated, which we did in January. That's without the poll license. If you've got your poll license information in place, it has a new, you get for your public right of way assessment, it will be $328,700. He's giving you the numbers for the formula that he's using to come up with the $328,700. But if you want more information, I have no problem going back to them and having somebody come in and completely break it down for you. You don't have to sign it.
I think we have more questions we do answer, don't you? I mean, I don't feel comfortable answering something like that, not knowing the full scope of it. I mean, look, the difference between
Do you
without.
want me to go pull the parts for the utilities and you look at what?
No,
not tonight.
no, because it's 8:15 already, and it's gonna be a long meeting as it is, but the other thing that's gonna be different is by his formula, based on what he's saying here, with the whole PRW, whatever the hell that means.
Public right of way.
Okay, with the right of way, it's going to increase the value to the town of $9,400 from what it was. Because we've done that new license agreement, I think that's what he's saying. Without it, we are assessed, total assessment is $309. Without the right of way, with the right of way, it's gonna go up $9,400 dollars increased to the town. So our assessment is higher, so that means that our tax rate, the money we generate through taxes will be higher, not less. That's my biggest concern. Okay, I don't want us to lose because, you know what I mean? So,
Again, here's my concern. The front page says 2017 pole and conduit assessment without public right of way. The back page talks specifically about public right of way. Are those the same?
no. One's without it, one's with it. The one in the back is gonna be a higher value than the one on the front. So-
Because you have.
Because on the back side, he's including the right of way that we do not get money for, now we will be.
Right,
So,
because you have your pull license, you
it
amended
takes me,
your pull
we'll
license.
still getting there, I get there eventually.
And I'm tired. It's at night.
You guys, what do you wanna do, I mean,
You're comfortable with it? I'll go.
I feel more comfortable with it now, I kind of try to
Right.
figure out what the verbiage means, I mean, this is an auditor telling us.
Yeah,
how
it is.
How he sees it in his eyes, and I'm not
I
an auditor,
completely
so.
agree with you. Whenever I get a letter from Gary, I have to sit down and go, because he's difficult to understand. But if you sit with it, you can surmise it.
No, if you guys feel uncomfortable doing it, I don't recommend you do it. If you want more information, we should get
Yeah,
it
if
for
you
next
want
meeting.
more information, I'll go, I don't know, what
You
are
guys
your
wanna see
questions though? That's what I need to know.
You wanna have him come in for our next meeting, Board of Selectmen's meeting, 2 weeks from now? Give it a
Yeah,
time.
that makes it August 28th. You must know by September 1st.
Well, we decide it and vote on it right that night. We clear it up with questions.
Good.
Joanne had a question. Go ahead.
No, sorry. Answered.
Wait.
No.
Okay.
Okay, you sure? Because you'd be putting your hand like this, like that. I don't want to, go past you, yes. All right, so we'll put that and see if we can
Alright,
reach out to him
so-
for the next Board of Selectmen's meeting.
Yep.
All right.
And then since we are not going to do that, or anyways, we're so close, we have to get an extension on the MS1,
Okay.
because we need to have these values in the system before we can submit our.
September 1st.
It's the MS1, it's the town's valuation
Okay.
report to DRA, and
Yeah,
they
we
use
do.
the information to formulate the tax rate.
All right. We have a motion to go ahead and apply for the MS1 extension until
I so
October
moved.
1st.
October.
Second. Favor?
Aye.
You good with that?
Yeah, I don't care. Hey,
Okay.
It's your ball game.
All right.
I'm just a messenger, don't shoot me.
No, that's just.
Are you want them the 28th, I want the 28th of August meeting, correct?
If they can do it, yeah.
That's fine.
And we'll go.
If they
Do I
can,
need to sign that?
maybe we can get some
Oh,
other,
sorry, John.
if they're not available then, but are available sometime prior to that,
Right.
let us know. We'll see if we
Right.
can-
I'll make myself available.
Okay.
I mean, I know it's
Okay.
important, I'm
Yeah.
gonna make myself available.
Okay, great. It works.
All right, let's move on to Chief Butcher.
I had a bunch of stuff I wanna go over, but now I'm thinking maybe I'll wait.
Put it down there, put it down there, that's it. You're done.
Oops.
Rick, we'll
Messing
go with
with
you
me.
next after.
Alright, just real quick, patrol rifles that the town allocated me, the $2,600 to fix up are in, they're all in, they're done. Mr. Bailey's seen them, they came out very nice, so now we have patrol rifles, they're all set up the same way and very patrol functioning rifles. So that's what we're gonna know that went through is done. Something that I'd like to get done still, and I kind of briefly mentioned this before, I'd still like to try to get the carport area cleaned up a little bit, like the mismatched trash bins that fall over and miss the lids and stuff. If it's possible, I'd like to get a couple decent trash bins, like the ones with the lid on it, that maybe we can put against the building, so it looks a little more clean and orderly when, I know we were gonna try to see if Waste Management would give us a couple, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't know what they cost, I think probably a couple $100 probably for some decent ones. So I think we need to go.
You have to bring them out curbside, so something with wheels would be good.
Yeah, like just like the lids, I mean, the ones they give out to people that are customers already, I don't know if they would.
You talking about the ones that go up into the trucks?
I Yeah, I don't honestly, I don't know how they fit them, but I think so, yeah.
I think there's $68 based on
I just like to get a couple of them down there to put the stuff in, so we put lids on it. The other thing is, I know we discussed before, Rocky got a couple quotes and then it just kind of died about getting the floors buffed, put the PD down there, getting the entrance area there buffed and waxed.
We never saw the quotes.
I never made it up to you. Okay. I'll give those up to you, because I know Rocky was working on that. Quickly, we have an old shredder in the PD I'd like to get rid of. I just wanted to run it by you guys first. It's, I don't know, it's honestly about the size of that trash can there, and it shreds like one piece of paper every 5 minutes. It stops like every 3 seconds. You have to hit reverse and forward, reverse and forward. We have one of those bins downstairs in the vault room that we can just throw paperwork away in. If it's really important that it's shredded, Rocky actually brought in a shredder that her mother-in-law's place or something that works fine for getting rid of paperwork. But it is an asset that belongs to the town, so I just want to double check what we cost it.
You gonna get rid of it?
Get rid of it Saturday.
I'll buy one of those stickers.
Buy a sticker.
So if that's all right, I'll just get rid of that.
Yeah.
Another quick thing, I'd like to enroll my officers in what they call Police One training. It's kind of an online thing. It's not super cheap, but it's actually cheaper in the long run. For me to enroll 8 of the officers, it'd be $700, which we have in our budget already for training. It'll pretty much eat up our training for this year. So at some point it might be nice if we could up the training a little bit, because it's still good to send people to away trainings a little bit. I've always said training's important. You don't want to send them to the minimum, but this Police One will help us meet the minimum requirements and police standards of training as far as getting everybody up to date. Right now, it's only 8 hours a year is what the officers are required to attend, which I think is pathetic, honestly. There should be a lot more training. But what Police One is, it's something that while they're on duty, they can go online and they do little hour programs. The officers log in, take a little class, watch something while they're on duty anyways, they're already getting paid. And then at the end of that, they take a little test and it turns out a certificate. And these trainings have been around for a little while. I've been waiting because I want to see all the departments had success with them. And New Hampshire Police Standards and Training accepts them as the 8-hour requirement, so they have to go on and do 8 trainings, but there's like 250 different trainings available for this academy thing, so I just wanted to run that by you guys, because it was $700. Now, I did get them to waive $100 of the original hookup fee or whatever, because it would have been 8 something. That's just basic. But I think it's a good idea, because, in the downtime when people are working, they can, hang out a couple classes, you don't have to send them down to the academy, or, take $2 to send them to the police training. Most trainings, by the way, other than the ones that are put on by the police academy, like if you were to go to like an evidence training, say down at Hampton PD, you have to pay the officer to drive to Hampton, be down there all day, not be available for calls, and then the training's usually $200 or $300. So this training is $772 for, and that'd be, it's $80 a year per officer, but there was an original $200 setup fee. I told them about the $200 was a little excessive, they agreed to waive $100 of it, so it'll be $772 for this year and all the next year, the rest of this year and all the next year. So.
Alright, you need the training, go ahead and do it. They have to get their credits, so.
Essentially, it's a way cheaper solution.
Yeah.
So.
Part of your budget, so you can go ahead and.
Yeah, it's in there right now. It's still
Yeah.
like $1,000 for training, so it'll pretty much beat it up, but I have it.
Yep.
Another thing, just for conversation purposes, I'd like to change the police patch that we have. I've never been a fan of the police patch that we have. And a lot of times when you go into a police department, you kind of try to change the persona of the police department and the reputation of the police department. Sometimes it's kind of tradition, they've changed the patch a little bit. So I've been working on that. This is the patch that I'd like to get. There's actually no setup fee because we did all the design and everything. And so the only thing would be is the next time we order patches, we would just order those patches and send them what we have. The only real cost to the town, because we'd be buying these patches anyways, would just be a couple of dollars for, I don't know, whatever shirt to take these patches off and put those ones on. I don't know if it's $5 a shirt or $6 a shirt. It's not a lot.
Patch on the food.
Yeah.
This one.
Well,
Because you have to.
I kept the original building.
Well, kind of like comparing the difference. I don't think the difference is the shape of the patch itself, for the most part.
Blind.
The shape would be more in line with the shape of the pad, where it's supposed to be applied.
It's a color thing too, that's mostly a dark blue with grays, doesn't have all the little frilly yellows.
No happy colors.
And you wouldn't not have the sun on there?
There's a sun in there, if you look.
It's in there,
Okay,
it's in
all
the-
right, for
It's in the middle,
sunrise.
it's in the middle little circle.
Can you make a sun?
Can we make the flowers pink? Or the lettering maybe, so it's stand down on the blue? Second, third, fourth.
Need a color revision.
That's fine.
I don't care either, honestly, I mean.
It's not really anything you guys would vote on, I just wanted to, while we were here, I figured
Sure.
I'd run it by you. I think that's a lot more professional looking. I'm glad they pass it around to you guys when they're done.
I really don't wanna see the patch, really, coming up to the side of my vehicle, I don't wanna see the patch.
That's why you wanna see.
Will that be the same thing, but we don't have anything like that on the car to do it,
No,
so.
no, no.
Yeah, It'd be rather costly to do all that, I don't like that, so.
And they want to see the patches like you have. It's just a little more traditional patch.
I was looking over your shoulder.
Good?
You snoop.
The only, last thing I have is kind of a personal issue, if you guys don't mind. While Rick's here, I wanted to talk to you about it. So I had talked to Rick briefly about, I live in Wolfboro, so I'm not a resident in Middleton, but when I was shooting down at the, our pit that is in New Durham, there's a huge pile of rocks down there. And I was told that it's kind of been the practice of the town that residents or employees, if they needed some rocks, they didn't mind if you took some. So I just want to know if it was okay, and I talked to Rick, Rick said they're a waste product, like Rick didn't say like you couldn't even sell them or get rid of them or something.
Just made a nice fresh pile right down on the ridge road, got nice ones for building walls with that. We only need so many for crushing. I mean, it doesn't matter to me if you wanna let him get them any way he wants to get them. I mean, obviously, people have come with pickup trucks. I don't know how many pickup trucks he wants to load. I think he wants to look a different way of doing it.
I
Pickup truck.
I got a triaxle.
Yeah, try it, 8 or 9 of those and
I'm
you're
just
fine.
saying, I'm just saying.
I just wanted to double check, see if you guys didn't care if I took some of those for some.
I have no idea
It's
what
just yard work around my
I mean,
house.
it's
while
just-
I do rock
Are they
garden.
waste product?
$10 a rock.
I got way more than I'll ever need, I can tell you that. I got piles here, I got piles, this here's just gonna be trucked from here up there.
So,
So-
would you prefer them to be taken out of here?
Yeah, I think this is better for what you're looking to do, I believe.
Yeah, just
Right
rock
here.
walls and stuff around the
Yeah.
gardens and stuff.
So-
Just
Either one doesn't matter to me at
personal
all.
use.
It's all in the blessing of you
Awesome
guys.
cares, right? Get rid of them.
I just wanted to
I
double
move
check.
that the selectmen authorize Chief Ledger to remove rocks from our
Town?
as needed. Just-
I just wanted to double check.
Do you have some that are stamped, made in Middleton?
We can do that. So it's okay, he can go without a pickup truck, he can go with something bigger, I mean, because he lives in Wolfboro, right?
As long as it doesn't affect what you need to do, I don't care how many rocks he takes out of here.
Okay.
Honestly.
Unless they're rusty.
Unless they're rusty, the brown ones I keep.
I wouldn't ask if you use the tracks, or you have to throw them in one at a time.
Alright,
Okay.
I had it. Sounds good.
Yeah, it's probably, you know.
No, I second it.
All in favor?
We don't need
Aye.
all of the guy.
Alright, thank you. That's it, all I got.
Okay.
We're going to go over my numbers, but I didn't have those for you. I just give them to you.
We do need it for the, ICP though.
I want to do basic cruiser mileage, stats.
44 calls for service, 2 arrests, 33 motor vehicle stops, warnings, 7 summonses were issued, 3 motorcycle accidents, 1 animal control call.
3 motorcycle accidents?
Motor vehicle accidents.
Oh.
Motorcycle.
Oh, I'm sorry, motor.
Year to date, 336. That's mostly the year to date.
I break it down.
This is interesting. Summons is issued, 7, parentheses, 6 issued by Bartlett.
Work issue sometimes.
All right, you all set?
That's it.
Mr. Rick?
Okay,
Here we go.
here we go. That's right, Laura.
Thank
Here we
you,
go.
chief.
I may take off if you guys don't mind, I guess.
No, none of that. No,
Unless you don't want me to hear your story, I'll be glad to listen.
Oh,
we
yeah.
still gotta come
If
see
you
you,
want to
we're gonna
watch
sing you
it.
for the rock, so.
I'll bet you are right.
Appreciate it.
Boy.
First thing I got is like we've been working on the plow welding and stuff, like we authorized the overtime to do
Yes.
that because of the price that we got. The grizzly tree, that's all done. That's down the pit, that's been tried and tested. We probably sent 1,800 yards worth of material across it already, which is stuff that was taken from the roads years prior to. So that's what we've been doing, sending that stuff we're taking off underneath the roads that are just full of rocks, but good gravel, we just need to have the rocks downsized. Send it across that grizzly, stockpile it on this site for your material for that site. You won't have to buy construction grade material, you'll have it sitting down there. So the grizzly part, that's done. We're at the plow part now. We've gotten a couple prices on some sandblasting stuff. One guy really didn't even want to give us a price, but he did, so it don't sound like he's really interested in coming here. The one that I did get is out of Sanford, Maine. And what I ended up adding the 1-ton dump cart to the sandblasting part and the painting part, because I noticed that if we don't do something to that, probably this year, by next year we'll be fixing the holes in it. So I had him look at that also, as well as the 3 plows and the plow frames that we're working on. And he's giving us a price of $450. He gets $150 an hour. He gets a one-time setup fee of $100 on site. He comes here to do it. We clean up the area he's in. He doesn't use necessarily the sandblast material of the old days, only if he needs to. He uses the new stuff, which is more environmentally friendly. You don't necessarily have to clean it up like you always made you clean up the Black Beauty stuff before. That's one of the only places I can get a price from, and he also agreed that we don't need to get all the paint off these plows, we just need to get the areas that are metal where the rust is, so that we can get the paint to stick to that. I believe that we'll be able to leave some paint on there. And our paint that we painted with will stick to that paint, so he doesn't have to get them bare metal. But he put into the price here that if we'll be there with him, and if we're not seeing the results that we want to see within an hour on the plow, then we can make a decision then whether we want him to carry on or we just want to stop the whole project. Because the thing is he don't know how thick the paint is, neither do we. There's only one coat, I can tell you that, 'cause we've never painted them since we got them, so this shouldn't even really be an issue. But we wanted something in there just in case, and that's in there. If we don't think we're going to get our money's worth, we should know within the first hour what his equipment's going to do to the plow. You know what I mean? I don't believe there'll be an issue. I think we're going to be good to go. I don't have a lot of price to compare it to, so it is what it is. He's supplying the materials. He's coming here. We don't have to transport nothing. That's a cost to transport stuff to someone. So about the best shape you're going to find. And we had prices of about 10 grand to do just the plows, and I believe we're gonna be able to do the plows and this dump body within that range. So we've gained a piece, and I don't even think we'll be at 10 grand when we're done, you know what I mean? So we're still within the budget, just this is part of that original plan.
Okay.
So I just need your blessings whether you say yes or no on that before I go any further with that.
Okay.
What was the number?
Yes.
4450.
Okay.
And that really can't change unless one of us is there, like myself or Eddie, to make the decision whether we go a little further on this plow or not, you know what I mean? So that's where that's at.
Okay.
So you're all good with that? Okay,
Okay, Joe?
all right. The road project, dirt part, the Barron Brothers part, is done. The excavation part, washing out the road, we did about 1,000 feet of road. We only estimate, I ended up adding on another 100 feet at the end of it. So in another area down in there, like happened over on there, Nicola Road, we go into excavate into it between 18 inches and 2 feet. We went into an area down there that was nothing but stumps, like 4 or 5 of them right beside each other. And we pulled the stumps out, the root base was down almost 6 feet into the ground. So you got a price on it, now you got a price for excavating anywhere between 18 to 2 feet. Now you're down 5 to 6 feet deep. You do the math on that, at $27.40 a square foot, that should be a substantial amount of money over the contract. I was looking at somewhere around $6,500 over the top of the contract, which we run into this before. I received a bill today, he increased the bill by $1,850. One of the things about working with a local contractor for a long time, and there's a benefit right there, and I can prove it on paper every day. You know, the numbers, when he gave it to me today, I just almost fell over, because I figured it's gonna, I'm coming today, I'm gonna spend about another $8,000 on this road, and he's only charged us $1,850, so I think we're getting a good shake by BBD, just an opinion to get out there. That's the update on that. And what we ended up doing down there, where it was so deep, we ended up using what I call a swamp mat. I don't know if anybody's ever seen them. You get into an area where they build roads across swamps, and they use a fabric material. We actually put in 300 feet of that fabric material, not in the contract, never showed up on the bill. They didn't give it to him, he gave it to us. So just an example of who we are dealing with, you know what I'm saying? It's for future reference for you. That's where I'm at on that. I'm waiting for Pike Industries. He got back to me today. He's supposed to get back tomorrow. I'll figure out when we're gonna do the pavement part of that project down there, but as far as the dirt work and Butch, he's all set on that. I've also got a price off from BBD on the pit. I know we talked about this before. I had price up to $20,000. Butch looked at it, and I got a price off him today. I got the paper here. He's at $14,000. That's to relocate us down the pit. That's to take care of clearing 2.5 acres of area that's all wooded right now, put a road in and 100 by 160 area in the bottom for us to work. His price will adjust if I can get someone to cut that brush off. I spoke with someone today that's supposed to get back with me. Maybe I'll get it cut off at no charge, or maybe I'll get it cut off at a minimal amount like we did down here on the Ridge Road when we did this project. So that's where I'm at on that. He's at 14, him doing the brush. So we may end up getting the brush done free, or we may have to spend something with someone else to get the brush until adjust his number. So as long as you're okay with that, I can get that going with Butch also. You can sign this paper, I can sign this paper, doesn't matter to me.
He's fine.
Go ahead and take care of it, yeah.
Okay, so you're all
Yes.
set on that part, okay? Had to replace, we knew we were gonna have to replace some tires on the excavator, and I did. I got prices from a lot of places. We ended up having a flat, one was flat, I had to cut in its tube tire. We were looking at that to see where the leak was coming from, and we realized it's tube tire, it can be coming from anywhere. And while we're doing that, we sprayed another one, that one was leaking. So we got the guy right here. I got a price off in a bunch of places. They were at $485, $490. And Triple P tire, he come and put them together, put them on the machine for us with $485 a piece. Installed on the machine. The only other thing he charged us for was a $75 yard. He showed up in the yard to do them in our yard. So you probably have seen that bill already. I turned that in today. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but that's like $3,100. So
I haven't say it, sign.
yeah, that was after getting prices. I thought that is the best deal. And the guy's fast, and I mean he's a good guy.
Yeah,
He's a local guy. He's over there on Obey Road. He does you well. So. You already seen the bill, you already know, now you know what that was for. Rather than wait for this meeting, I needed the machine, so I kind of just, it's in the budget, so within the budget, so we're all set, I do believe. We got some trucking issues on this Ridge Road here. We had it posted for years for 10 ton. We took that down. We were promised that the trucking would go in one way and come out the same way. There wouldn't be no through trucking. We fought back and forth, but with a happy medium, we posted it for no through trucking. Now the thing is that they go in this way, they go into the landing, they come back out, they go the other way. The answer is they're not through trucking. And this trucking is every day, every morning, and every night. And sometimes 2 or 3 times during the day, in and out on this road. That could be coming in the other way or coming out this way. You have full-fledged construction operation going on a driveway permit that only allows for a residential driveway. The road's getting stove up down here on them shoulders, and the only way you're gonna solve that is to have that paved like a regular business would have to have, a 50-foot radius at the road, 100 feet into the property. But that's a residential driveway permit that they're running a construction business out of. So there's a whole different issue that needs to be addressed there. Things need to go through different boards to get the permission to do the things that are happening before I can go and enforce on my side of what we do. But I can tell you the road's getting stove up worse and worse every week down there.
Should we change the load limit?
I can put the weight limit right back on, but as soon as I do, it's gonna draw attention. He's gonna be up here, but it's gotta be addressed. And I'm just coming to you as a road agent, protecting the roads, not as a vendetta against anyone. If anyone knows me, I don't single anyone out, but it's just part of the job that it needs to be brought to the attention that this is happening and the roads getting stove up. And you can go down there and see exactly why. You don't have to be a road agent or a master road agent or anything to figure out what's going on there. If you go down and look at the amount of truck traffic, tracks alone in and out will tell you. And if you look at all the other aprons, like if it was a driveway there in the beginning, when they went by with a paving machine, they'd go out with an apron by about 2 to 4 feet at every driveway. There was never a driveway there, so we don't even have that big. All we got's the edge of the road. And tractor trailers off track a lot. When you turn off, there's no way of not letting that trailer go off where it's not supposed to unless you swing way wide in the other lane, which is dangerous in that area. On that corner down there, you wouldn't want to be doing that either. So that's something that's in your ballpark. I don't know if it's your ballpark / code enforcement, I don't know, but I feel I've done my job of bringing it to your attention. Any further than this, I really don't have any action to do anything, other than to let you know that we should do something about it. And it's the same thing on the dirt part of the New Durham Road. It's the same thing. Over there, it's posted for the heavy trucks for a reason on our end. The New Durham should post their end for safety because it's so narrow. On our end, we got it posted for trucks because our culverts aren't buried 4 to 6 feet deep over there. We're lucky we get a minimum amount of cover over a 12-inch culvert in places. So we had to post to protect the road. Whatever is happening, it's not working at all. It's not being enforced.
And that's the dirt road going.
Exactly, and you know, it's just not set up for that. I can grade that tomorrow, and by Friday you'll never know I was there because of the cut across truck traffic that's coming from 11 to here or 16 to there. It's all cut across traffic. It's posted for trucks with pictures of trucks. I guess that's confusing them. So the same thing, weight limit, 10 ton, 20 ton, something. That's a simple sign to enforce. Again, you can go right back to your GVWR rating. You don't worry about scales, you just go by what the truck's rated for. And that would solve on both sides. You're gonna get challenged on both sides, so just a forewarning on that.
Would it be smart for us to reach out to New Durham and their people to see if they want to do the same thing or no?
I can talk to, there's new leaders over there now, so maybe it would work. Back in the day when we did it, it didn't seem like they really cared. Their end should be about safety. Our end's about the drainage issues, because we didn't build a road for that, because it shouldn't have to be built for that. It's a country cut across road for now everybody. GPS did it to us to begin with, but if you post it, it should be posted through the GPS system also. I don't know if that's gonna happen or not. Usually they show up if the road's posted. Like Mark Kimball, he's a truck driver. He knows if there's a bridge posted, probably Jimmy does too. Then he wouldn't be able to go that way, you know what I mean? On a GPS, it will tell you that once it's officially done. I don't know why that one didn't get put on there, but that's just another issue that you're starting to spend a lot of money on maintenance over there, and you're gonna spend a lot of money down here if we don't do something. Sure.
So for the short term, until we can reach out to New Durham, we can post our end of it.
We can post any road we want, anytime we want, for any weight we want, so.
Do you have the signs already?
I got them, yep.
Is it currently posted then?
No, this one was posted for 10 ton because of the bridge, because we replaced the
No,
bridge.
right, so yeah, so this one, then is New Durham still posted?
It's posted for no through truck traffic,
Oh,
class
okay.
8 or above, and I think that's where the confusion is coming in. Now, obviously, we only got 2 residents live in town on that road, so them are the only 2 that we should have deliveries going to, but we got everything. I mean, that's what I asked them when they were over there, did you have a delivery in Middleton? It's not like a delivery on the other end of this road. Well, you should have gone the other way to get into it, you know, big, huge tractor trailers. If you're logging in the middle of that road, obviously I'm gonna work with you. I mean, I'm not gonna force you to go the other way. I'm gonna let you probably come this way, but most times in these logging that's going on now is like 1 or 2 logging trucks operation. It's not like when we had the Canadians over there logging Mount Pasture Road. We had 14 trucks at 4:30 in the morning coming out of there. So it's a lot more downside. So I work with a logger that's on the road, but just to open it up for anybody, we need to try to come up with a weight limit possibly, which will solve it. But it's gotta be enforced also.
Okay, well, I mean.
You can't wave to the truck drivers when you're going across that road in a police cruiser. That's not enforced.
Absolutely, it's just like down here, I mean, it's always supposed to come in and out this way here. If they're going across Ridge Road, they should be getting some tickets for it.
That's the deal that we're trying
That's what
to,
we're
we're trying to
supposed to
cut, is that we kind of open it up for that reason. You know, you can come in one way, go back out the same way, but not come through.
Right.
But it's not, that part of that agreement has fell through, I can tell you that, so.
So, you guys,
Yeah,
have them post it?
yeah, both of them.
Go for it.
Okay.
Who's running the drum now?
Al.
Don Vashon?
Yes, yeah.
I'll reach out to the chief and let him know that you're gonna be posting that road.
I will,
And I'm gonna mention that a little bit more, observant on that Ridge Road.
Yep, you do that, and I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wait a week before I post it, all right?
I'll
That way then we
probably
can get to the police chief, and some of the word can get out, because the first meeting that someone's probably gonna be at, I'm not gonna be here. I'm gonna be on vacation in Austin Plains, but postpone that meeting until the week that I am gonna be here, and I'd be more than glad to be right sitting in this room, and I would appreciate it if I could be in this room at the
Make
same
sure
time.
you are then.
Okay.
We'll
It
do
worked so well last time I left it. When
back
I
in
left it
your
the
box.
last time, it didn't work so well, so I just don't be sitting right here, and we'll address it in front of you guys. And the last thing I got is the New Durham Highway Department. We've been in a mutual aid situation here since we had the floods back in '08. We all had mutual aid agreements, there's all kinds of towns in it, we're in it, they're in it. Their calcium truck broke down last week, and they asked us if there's any way that we can go over there and help spray their roads with our calcium truck. And I had no problem with doing that because they've helped us out in the past, so I sent Pete over with the calcium truck, and he sent Dave over here with a regular dump truck, and they took Pete's place truck and gravel for me, and Pete went over there and took place for them. So if someone said they see a Middleton Highway Department truck on Brackett Road or the Ridge Road top last week, that's what it was all about. It was a last minute thing. There's no come in and say, hey, can I send this guy, or call all three of you guys. It's one of the things where I just did it. And when I was telling him I gotta go out and get some brush to pick up, we had a lot of trees down. He told me, don't run the chipper, come get there. So we'll be able to use a chipper. And in that department I work with well. So just want to let you know that we were there. I'm surprised you haven't heard about a red Middleton truck
But, you know,
over on the Brackett Road at the New Durham General Store at 11 o'clock or something. So that there, just a heads up to you.
Okay.
That's the kind of stuff can happen. We could have it happen to us, and they're right there for us.
Been Dudley Drive, you were,
Right. The only other thing I got is unfortunately salt went up. I got a salt contract. It's not drastic, but it did. It's gone from $51.43 to $53.30, which is $1.87 ton difference. So
well, we've been lucky the last few years.
yeah,
They
it went,
kept
it
down,
dropped
so.
and everything else. So that is what it is. I got that contract too. You guys can sign if you want, but it's mostly you're gonna sign it, but they want all my information. So I might as well.
It's already signed in the past, so.
Yeah, you have my email address, phone number, and everything. I'm gonna call you guys for the salt. They're gonna call me. So that's the deal.
Joanne, you had a question?
No question, I'd just like to say that on behalf of the town, who can't possibly appreciate all that Rick and his department has done for the town. And I wish there'd be a way that I could publicize some of the stuff that he's done, but a lot of that publicity about people not billing us for things that we receive, probably better if they're not publicized. I apologize, Rick, but you just don't get all the credit you deserve.
Well, there's people, you know, they know.
We know.
So
Do it for whatever you do for us, Rick.
that's what it is. So yeah.
Just hurry back for the.
I appreciate the cooperation with the townspeople and the board too. I mean, it all just works well as a group, and Laura, she's a big asset to me. So it's
Big ass, is that what you said?
a big asset.
Oh,
I know better than say that. I got to deal with her in the morning.
That was both recorded and videotaped.
That's
Well, that's what I thought I heard.
I feel
I know
like
better than say
I would
that.
love for you to be loaned out the farming crew that's working on Silver Street, because I've never seen people work so slow in my life.
I worked in that town before I came here for 11 years. So.
All right, you're all set, Rick?
I am. Thank you.
Okay, let's move on to Chief Lawrence.
There's a report for you.
We
Number
wake
of
you
calls,
up?
mileage, yeah, a little bit. It's been a long day. Some different notes where we did scheduling a walkthrough of Middleton Building Supply. ordered the GPS units, we'll be scheduling a training with Fish and Game to go through that. We ordered them from a government company that is going to give us free updates as long as they can through support. If they get broken, they'll replace them as long as they can. We're gonna be using the mule to map out a lot of the areas. So if you see that out and about, that's why it's gonna be out there. On a side note,
What you got there, you share?
I'm trying.
What's the viewfinder?
That's kind of, it's taking a minute to warm up for some reason, but if you look in there, this is one of the new air packs, the masks that we've got, and it's got a little thermal imaging camera. It's a little heads-up display. It's like the batteries are worn down on it. But
Too many people play with it or what?
we only got one of these. That'll be in the officer's seat of the engine. But that'll just show you some of the technology that's coming our way.
See a thing. Yeah,
It's
see if you can see a thing.
should be down to that bottom right hand.
Oh, is that where it is?
Yep.
What is it?
So it's a little heads-up thermal imaging camera in the masks. We're gonna have an in-service training
Finding
on Wednesday night.
hotspots?
Yeah, finding hotspots. That way there, when you go into a building, you don't have to try to be carrying everything else. Plus a thermal imaging camera, it's right there in the mask.
You had to replace some of the masks anyways, right?
We gotta replace all of them.
That's what you
Yeah.
were saying before, yeah.
There's gonna be a food drive on Saturday, as well as we're also gonna be helping out the school with their playground equipment as well. You guys wanna check that out?
How do I turn it on?
It should be on.
I'm allergic to fire.
Move.
I'm allergic to rubber.
Well, you'll see the screen down there. Put it on.
Justice John.
On the right hand
So it
side.
doesn't work?
Yeah.
Note that when you sign those papers.
I see nothing.
That's what I saw.
Can you see the screen?
No. See nothing.
It's hard to know what you're looking for. I got John. Go to this week's report. but you're
Bottom
gonna
right-hand side?
Please send the fire reports
Here.
for my next week's call.
No, it's the numbers.
Meeting, I had trouble filling the call.
Oh, is that out of the wall?
Yeah.
All right, I didn't see nothing.
Yeah,
Image on that, I saw where it was.
See it now?
Like Star
Cool.
Wars over there.
So, are you finished yet, Paul?
Yeah, that was about it.
I have a question. Either you or maybe John would like to answer, but down towards the bottom, it clearly says John Clary has a date at the end of September. Do you wish to expand upon the date, or is that more of a personal?
Above that, John, Ken McMullins has passed his test, he's waiting his background check, and then Cleary is scheduling his.
I'm already scheduled to take it.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's not a date? Oh, okay, I'm just making sure.
I was waiting for a date. Oh, I get it now. Thanks, Chief.
I got it.
That's right, thank you. That's somebody that must be getting late. Okay, thank you. All right. Oh, you got school board.
School board.
Hello.
Hi.
We have our regular meetings the second Wednesday of every month. Everybody is welcome. We just had a meeting last week. School opens on the 5th. Our next school board meeting is the 13th, and there'll be an open house on the 21st. And we hope everybody comes out on Saturday to help put together the program.
Thank you for attending. Nice to see you folks here.
Hopefully it won't be 5 to 9 every month.
No.
For me to say,
I'm not
hi,
either.
come to our meeting. There were a lot of signatures.
Yeah.
Is the open house August 23rd before school starts?
No,
Or
September
Okay.
21st.
I just want to make sure I have it right.
Yeah.
Linda, on a personal note,
What?
I know,
I can say that, he's my neighbor.
all right,
What?
now on an official note,
Yes, what?
there has been some Facebook postings about helping out the school. I just want to reiterate, I don't know if you know anything, or if Andrea, can you clarify? Tools.
They told us all we need to do is show up with no, I asked the question, do we need to bring tools? No. They'll have everything. There will be people there from the playground company directing us so that the slide does not turn into a swing by accident. And evidently they're bringing their own tools, so we don't have to bring anything, just ourselves. And there will be food. Food will be provided, food and drink will be provided by volunteers. So,
When that playground equipment is all in, it's all finished, it's in use, what happens to the other stuff?
what
Taking
other
away?
stuff?
The swings, the metal slide.
Oh, that's all the way over.
Yeah, that'll
We
probably
don't have any
stay.
plans for that yet.
Okay, for that.
That's not where the playground is.
I know, playground's going closer.
No, that
And
other
the other
stuff,
equipment does
that'll
belong to the
s-
school.
Yeah, well, the whole bunch of
Right.
those, yeah. No, there aren't
Oh,
any plans
good.
right now for that, to do anything there. I mean, we're looking, full rain, basketball court, the whole 9 yards. But we just had that surplus this year, so we thought, this is the only year we're gonna have a surplus.
I didn't know
that will
whether
allow
the
us
insurance
to-
company might be questioning the use of some of that old equipment.
Haven't heard?
Good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, how about, we got nobody here from conservation, we'll go through that. John Malone had to leave early, so we'll go skip that one. Cemetery, there's nobody for cemetery, we'll skip that.
I can comment if you want to.
Okay, that's fine.
Cemetery board met last week. I know there's been some site plans that have been looked upon, whether the town, we use town land or we purchase a plot of land. There's one area that is for sale that I think will be perfect, or the board thinks that would be good, which is the corner of 153 and Pinkham. We're also looking at down New Durham Road into Tanglewoods, but we were looking at the wetland map with UNH does, and that whole area is pink, which is all wet. So Roger was gonna come tonight and give an update. But that's all I know is the first meeting that, looking at, where it could possibly go.
You mean the one for New Durham, you're talking about the upper side of Tanglewood, right?
Yeah.
Not on the Pinkham side, but on the 151.
No, I mean the second one, not the
Tanglewood.
Tanglewood one, you said, right?
Which is down
153. I've done,
New Durham.
right, Durham. Not
Right.
Pinkham, Durham. Yeah.
Coming from the fire, come take a left here.
You're going home and then just before you get down over the hill, on the left-hand side, moving up in there, that's all good land, isn't that, Rick? That's high, that's
Yeah,
not-
where'd you go in? On the Tanglewood Gate area?
You know where the 18-wheeler truck parks on the right-hand side?
Yeah,
That left-hand side, there's an orange gate,
yeah.
that right there.
Yeah, you need to go up one more higher, cause that whole region comes right uphill, and that upper end of that, there's a big, huge area in there. We walked that, we got to the point where I think we got down to, we recommended that we had it surveyed,
Yes.
because we needed to find out where that corner pin was. And that could go in, what at the time was in conjunction with possibly the future area for a pit, because eventually you're gonna run out up there, and it would they would kind of both go in conjunction with together. And we was even thinking about asking the guy right there on New Durham Road, maybe some kind of a tax break. We could give him maybe to use a piece of that corner of that land to get to that piece, rather than come all the way and build a road from the Tanglewood Lakeshore area all the way to here. We could access it right off New Durham Road. It'd be right in there, right to your left. There's a nice, good sized area that can be flattened out in a short period of time. It looks like it's gravelly stuff, so it wouldn't be down in the wetland part, you know what I
Okay,
mean?
Roger took us to where that,
Swamp is.
yeah,
Yeah.
where the orange ropes are, and there's a barn out back.
Yep. Yeah.
You go up more.
Yeah, you go up, if you got, because that property actually almost comes all the way out, right, if you was on the top of that hill. If you're coming back this way and got to the top of the hill and flattened out, there's a first house on the right, and that place they went into as a barn. Right between them two, there's a pretty good sized right of way that could potentially be used right there, that I don't believe that the guy that, the house is for sale now, so we haven't approached him, but I do believe that he would give us that, if we give him a break, we could probably get to that way. That would be the way I'd recommend, rather than build the road all the way from the other end. Because you have to maintain it too, so. That's where we looked, I don't know, I'm not saying you guys can do your own group, but that's one of the spots. Yeah, you were with us, right, John?
And separate from that, the guidelines for establishing cemeteries, they're very specific in saying the route to the cemetery is not supposed to go through a residential area, like it would if you were on Lake Shore. So I would certainly hope we'd come in the other way.
I never thought about this property.
Street, New Durham Road,
New Durham.
before you get to Silver Street.
So,
If you went Silver
the
Street,
one
then
that's
Lake
gonna be
Shore.
posted?
No, before that. No, New Durham Road is right here.
Well, I call
Yeah,
it.
the
this.
top part.
No, Silver
Paved
Street
section.
ends
Okay.
at the curve.
You know what Charlie Alley, you know the guy who sells the lawnmowers, motorcycles, cars and stuff like
Right
that?
before you get on that knoll?
Before you go down that knoll,
Yeah.
on the left hand side, you look
Yeah.
inside there, like a little brown, like
Yeah.
a little small cabin in
Yeah.
there. Well, that road goes in there and it splits off the cabin and it curves to your left up in there.
Oh, okay.
And it goes way up behind it, that's a nice big high spot of land
okay.
up
No,
there.
I
And it's-
didn't-
I think there's probably a good,
Cause when you
good
say
5 or 6
Tanglewood,
acres
that's
in
down
there, at
below.
least.
Right.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it goes back,
Well, no,
that
but
is, none of that is
Tanglewood's gotta be
Tanglewood.
what?
That's all Tanglewood.
60 to
Doesn't the
70
town
acres.
already have that as
We,
Look,
conservation
right.
owns
How big
most
is
of that?
Tanglewood, how many acres?
It's pretty big, but I
70.
think doesn't, it's in conservation, right?
no.
Oh, I
It's all
thought they
town-owned
owned.
property. There's
Oh,
three-
I thought the town owned it.
There's
for
still 3
conservation.
current people who are
Right,
paying their
have
taxes, that are
owns,
current
right.
on their taxes in there, okay? So we can't touch that property, but we can go in and around
So
there,
it's
absolutely.
already, you would
But
have
it
to
would-
buy it. It's
Right,
already. part
it
of
would
the
make
town.
sense though to come in off of New Durham.
Yes, it would.
please, I don't need
Yeah.
everybody.
It'd be less
Oh.
impact to
Right.
everybody,
It
so.
wouldn't-
Yeah,
You
it's a
don't
long
need
way
funeral
in.
processions going
No,
by your
I don't
house.
need funeral procession. I'll
Yeah.
sell water on the side of the road.
Yeah, well.
The corner of
But if you wanna go back
153.
down there, John, like that, we can figure.
Yeah,
maybe
John and
decide
I-
like
John and
that.
I'll
I'll
have
show you the-
lemonade
the layout
stand.
a lot easier, so.
I'm interested.
The
Okay.
Pinkham and 153, that's not the new lots for sale.
Yes, yes.
Oh, they're not selling?
No,
They're available, I called and I spoke to the broker, they're available.
but
That
it
you-
must be
One point, we
pricey
were
because
told
the
to the
house
planning
lot.
board that basically had somebody who was interested like that, but something happened, some paperwork, whatever, and it didn't get done right, and so they lost
Yeah,
that sale.
that-
There's 5
that's-
lots. so-
That's a pity. That would be sad to use that for a cemetery, because that could bring in tax money. You could put some nice houses there.
I think so too, I like
Or
the,
com-
I like the
something com- that's-
Tanglewood area. 'cause
And that's
it's-
commercial, that's in the commercial district too. Somebody could put a store there, brings in more money. I like the Tanglewood idea too.
Alright, so if we're all done, John, anything in zoning?
No.
Oscar?
No.
No.
No, either.
Treasury, Sandy couldn't be here, her paperwork's not caught up yet.
It's mine, it's mine.
Yeah, so basically as of July 31st, we have an ending bank balance of $2,425,491.32. And,
Floating around.
oh, look at that, goose eggs, it means it balanced. On your part. So, look at it, so. Laura,
Yeah, we're good for another week.
yeah, so Laura, you good, how about welfare?
Right.
We've had nothing.
Nothing, okay. Alright, let's see here, planning board, basically we met last Thursday and we are sending in the CIP. We did look in the CIP, and if the school board decides that they wanna submit some paperwork to us, we can always put that in at a later date.
It's my understanding, of course, I wasn't involved in it, which I thought was really funny since I was the first one to issue the request for the CIP when I was the planning board chair. But it was announced at the meeting Wednesday that evidently Mr. Gary has it and is almost complete with it. He has one more thing he wants to do with it. I haven't seen it, no one else has seen it. He's on vacation and should be should be back soon.
Okay, but then if we send it in, we can always submit it later on, so it doesn't matter, that's good, at least we know that. Cause at
Yep.
one point, we were told that, you know, once it's in, and that's it, so they changed the rules.
Oh, that's
so.
good.
All right, emergency management, John?
All of us sitting here sure picked it right to be in Middleton. You look around, there's so many emergencies in terms of fires and drought and floods, and here we sit.
Microbursts,
That's right.
tornadoes,
Yeah.
I mean,
You
nothing.
see those storms go above us, they
Yeah.
below us.
Yeah, we've been lucky that
I've
way.
been like, it's not gonna last forever, but
Enjoy it.
we've,
Not like you were blessed.
that's right. Thank you. That's it.
I have a question about the accounts.
Sure.
Laura's paperwork. There's two, we're in year 2017. There's 2 checks from 2015, and there's 13 checks from 2016.
Mhm.
What can we do to take these checks off?
Well, the treasurer would have to submit that money to the state as unclaimed. But the problem with that is, when we deleted some, even though they're old, people are still cashing them.
But you
I'm
have,
surprised
you
they
have,
didn't
but you have
delete
until a
like they
certain
should- well,
time.
the teller
Yeah.
should be cashed.
You have until, I mean, without spending the $35 to a stop check payment
Mm-hmm.
to make them void,
Mhm.
there's a certain time where the banks cannot.
Correct, but the banks are cashing them.
Right.
Because we went, last year, I went through this whole list, and there was some firefighters that had like little $13 checks from like 2 years. So I canceled them, reissued them a new check, because the money is due to them, then they cashed both.
Oh, you,
So there's no way to recoup that
The
money.
banks
Most
should
of
not
these,
cash them, but they have been known to make exceptions.
exactly. Most of these are one person's cell phone stipend.
Right, I understand that, but why after a year?
It's like
More than a
180
year.
days is the max. Does it say anything on the checks, not
Yeah, it's
negotiable?
like 90 days, I believe.
So then you just,
Or 120,
you
it's-
call the bank that cashed them and said, you owe us money,
Yeah.
because you
Because
shouldn't have
we
cashed
should
the
be
check.
sending that, the treasurer should be gathering that money and sending it up to the unclaimed government. But I don't believe she knows how to do that. And I'm not doing it for her.
No, I understand that, but as far as having 13 checks in the year
Mhm.
2016.
Well, look at the first one, this is that's,
Right, June 15th
June.
of year 2015.
It's
I just
2
wanna
years.
say clean the books and only have the 90 days.
mhm.
I just wanted to
I agree with you.
I just wanna bring it to your attention.
That's the process you should be following, yes.
so who did we issue a check to for $21,900?
I don't know, I'd have to actually click on it to see.
Well, that's 2017 anyhow, that's not gonna be out of there, that's current.
Hasn't been cashed.
If it were me, it'd be cash.
No, most of them are one person's cell phone stipends. And I'm telling you, the minute that we say they're no good, they go and cash them. And I'm not
Can you
gonna,
send a certified letter to them?
I
too?
have,
But it's the bank should
But
not
it's
be
the bank's
honoring, our
responsibility.
bank should not be honoring that.
I know, but
And
if you
then
go to TD Bank and get your money and then Profile's like, well, and I'm not the treasurer, I'm not gonna fight that battle. I
Yeah,
shouldn't be fighting
$21,000
that
check.
battle.
No, so just-
No,
No, that
21,000
one's
was just
current.
last month. It
That
was just
Yeah.
last month.
That's a
When
current
you drew the
one.
line, I looked at above the
Yeah.
line, I saw that, and then I saw the date, so.
I'm just looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 same amounts. And it doesn't matter who or what, it's the point of
Well,
just.
I think that person's holding them for a reason, like, they don't wanna spend them, they're saving them for something, but I know you shouldn't. Cause sometimes they'll come in and they cash
You're
6 at
talking
a
about one
time.
person, send them one more certified, I think I heard you said, one more
You said
certified
one
letter
more
that.
And again, that should come
Effective.
from the
It's a
treasurer,
cost.
so you need to relay that
For
to
what?
us.
Okay.
For what? They-
Man,
right, but
remind me
it's
to.
like-
If
Cause I
our
already
check
did that once.
on our
Remind
bank
me
to.
non-negotiable
I just wanna
every
bring your
90 days,
attention,
our
just
bank
clean up
should
the
books.
not be
Right.
paying
Send
it out.
them a letter, so
When
I
whoever
first-
sends
the
it,
check,
if they
their
cash
bank
those
should
checks,
get a
you'll take them
kickback
to
from
small
our
claims
bank.
court.
When I first got here, I was getting rid of 2006 checks with Blandine from MRI, and that was in 2013. It had never been.
Back to her files.
So that's not as bad as I've ever seen it.
Wow. Alright, for, all those the department head stuff, we have one more issue we need to take care of. Basically, on the junkyard application, we have a checklist. And basically, the very top, it says, this is adopted by the Board of Selectmen, so I'm not sure who adopted it, but we own it. Attention, before I proceed with this application, please answer the following questions. and there's probably 15 to 20 questions. If you answer to any of the questions, if the answer to any of the questions is yes, do not proceed with the application until you refer to the code enforcement officer. So basically what I tell you is the site plan approved and signed by the planning board. Well, if you say yes, it means you have to go see the code enforcement. You're abiding to what we want you to do, now you still have to go to the code enforcement, it's contradictory. So basically we need to change that
Yes, I
verbiage.
agree.
So, I don't know how if any of the questions, if the answer to any of the questions is unclear, do not proceed with the application until you refer to code enforcement. I mean, it's like, it's not clear what it says, but, I mean, this should not, I mean, we got this guy's check, we've been sitting on it for quite a while because this is not right, so.
Was the
So
code
right
enforcement
now,
is the code enforcement guy gonna have the answer to the questions that you can't answer?
Yeah.
That's the next question.
You should.
I think you and I
You know what I'm saying?
Look at it,
We
okay,
should.
we'll put this on,
We
yeah.
should have them.
I don't know.
We'll wait for that until later on, so we can move on. This- We'll get late here. All right, so basically, on the new business, the coverage for electronic day. To meet from this coming Saturday, correct?
Was it 8 to 12?
Yes.
8 to 12.
No, it's this Saturday.
Yeah, yeah, they
This
said this
Saturday.
Saturday.
Tonight?
No, I just.
You were trying to pull a fast one, weren't you?
That's right. That way I get out of it.
I'm gonna say, geez, I think I got it covered for this Saturday, I
Well,
don't
you
know.
either have to take in the trash or go build the schoolyard before you leave it.
So basically, if you guys want, I'll go down the pit again like I did last year. I mean, those propane tanks come in there and stuff like that. I take them apart so we get rid of the scrap metal, so.
That's what you'll have down there is tires and scrap metal, basically, that's it, and your electronics is over here, but you got money at both locations, so.
So, we set up with a bag for change that Laura gets set up for us, whatever, so, I'll take that 8 to 12 down at the pit.
Want to split the other one? Are you available or no?
We are doing a boot drive with the fire department.
Okay. What time is your boot
That I'm
drive?
spearheading 8 to 12.
Okay.
Okay, so you're 2 hours there and 2 hours over there.
8 to 12 is not too bad.
2 and 8 to 10, and then 10 to 12, it's 2 hours. Split it.
He's gonna be holding a boot in the middle of the road.
I don't care, a little
Okay.
boot over
I'll be
there.
at the town hall.
Alright.
Okay. I'll be,
Alright, so that's covered. Public participation. Any comments?
Real quick, I'd like to say that Middleton, New Hampshire was represented down in Chelsea, Massachusetts, when 4 veterans from Middleton went down and served over 500 plus meals to the disabled and limbless veterans. Which included ferrying them from the hospital to the tables under a tent, to dishing out corn and hamburgers.
Excellent.
And we will get, it was
Very
all
nice.
part of Roger Main, who is a Middlesex County Deputy Sheriff. And he's the one who set up the whole thing for the 4 veterans to go down and do the work.
Cool.
nice.
Anything else?
Yeah, the only thing I forgot to tell you is I did rent a loader during this road project, so you're probably gonna see a bill for that too. But once again, when the loader showed up here, it had no fuel in it. So we told the salesman, and he, because he happened to show up for us to sign the paperwork the same day, and he looked in there and see there was no fuel. The delivery charge for that loader to come here was $450. The price I got was $4,900 a month to rent it. Time he left the yard, I rented the machine for $4,800, and I won't see a bill for $450 for the transportation one way. I just gotta pay to send it back, just because the fuel was in the machine. So, and we put 60 gallons in it, and he gave us $550 for it, so do the math on that, we did pretty good price per gallon, I think.
Yeah.
Do you want your town clerk reports?
Oh, yeah.
She did submit them, she wasn't feeling well.
Okay.
She went home,
Alright, I'm sorry.
otherwise she would have been here.
So basically for the month, last month, we brought in a total of $62,538.96.
Yeah.
Good. That's taxes, vehicle registrations, all that stuff. So, you guys wanna look at it, you're all set.
No, that's all right.
Okay, just for the record submitted, so. All right,
You're non-public, I don't think that's yours, so I don't think that's gonna happen.
no,
Okay, so you don't need to have that then.
no, so we have no non-public, so I entertain a motion that we, get out of here at, 9:13.
So move.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you everybody for your patience.